The order.
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I guess I didn't even ask. Okay. All right. Oh, papers here. Let's see. Okay, so we need to vote on a new council president and a vice president.
Make a motion, we just keep things the same.
Second.
Whether you are.
Votes?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Nobody's gonna move seats.
You're welcome, Lindsay.
Thank you. You're welcome, Brian.
And I make a motion, we'll keep Dingleberry there as our lawyer.
Wait a second. Sure we don't have discussions? Second.
Second by Brian. Votes?
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry about that, Lee.
You have to
Oh,
vote.
yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, so it looks like we have some guest speakers. Rick Anderson. Oh wait, I guess I better turn that on.
Hey, Lindsay, you might want to help him out too. You know, he's a little elderly and forgiveness.
Thank you. Turn your mic on, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
You can turn it off since we're talking about it, just so that it was on.
Like that?
Yes. Hey, guess what? My battery just went down 2/3.
Mine went to half.
I just
So good evening.
Is that 2/3?
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. Ricky Anderson. I was here a month or so ago. Well, actually, not too long ago. So, so Ricky Anderson, Barry, Jeremy Hoffman, my development engineer, is here with me tonight as well. So he can answer any of the technical questions. So if you remember, there's legislation in the state of Indiana allows you guys to do this guaranteed energy savings project. Lee, I don't know if you looked this up or not, but this IP-36-1-12.5.
Yeah, I have actually.
Okay, good. It's an Indiana.gov, and it's been around about 30 years, so it's not brand new legislation. It's been around for a while. But what it allows you guys to do is go out and procure these projects via an RFQ or an RFP. The typical way that you're probably used to buying is hire an architect engineer, put plans and specs together, take a little bit, take change orders. That's kind of a mess. The nice part about these projects is there are no change order payments. So if we agree to some sort of a contractual number, that's what the number is. The only time there's any kind of a change order is if you guys make a change. Okay, it's not us coming to you saying we missed something. So on the front page, objective: collaborate with Princess Lakes to develop energy conservation measures that decrease energy usage, produce sustainable energy, reduce utility costs, and provide substantial benefits to their buildings and communities. The project highlights the scope inclusion. There's 3 solar PV arrays, ground mount array at the wastewater treatment plant, a ground mount array at the pump house, and I'll let Jeremy explain this pump house situation. And then roof mount array at the water and sewer office, the newer water and sewer offices. Benefits: avoid rising utility costs through increased independence on the grid, reduction of carbon footprint, increased energy efficiency across all buildings, and then increase your energy independence and resiliency. I want to really hammer on that independence thing. We're never going to be able to totally get off the utility company, but if you can get off of them some, certainly behooves you guys, especially with the rising utility cost situation. So if you look at the right-hand column, it talks about each facility. So at the water treatment plant, potential for a 240 kW array, offset 90%. At the pump houses, a 30 kW array offset 60%, and then water and sewer 30 kW to offset 20%. Project cost includes all three of those, a little bit under $2 million. If you looked at page 2, it kind of gives you a idea of how those arrays might look on the pieces of property that we're talking about. So the pump house, you want to talk about the pump house?
Yeah, the pump house, we got multiple locations, and they're kind of difficult to get arrays set up in each one with shading from trees, et cetera. So we looked, I believe it was Scott was at pump house 3. You've got some extra real estate around, so we were going to put a single location array there to reduce cost, and then use that energy produced at that location to offset all the pump houses. So there's a larger footprint of property there that gives us more access to with that bigger array.
And the individual pump houses didn't have the footprint really available to put in each one, so.
Yep.
Would have impact costs there a little bit.
So you're gonna build one to feed all the pump houses?
Pump houses 3 through 8, I believe.
So it'll be an extensive run of electricity to reach those other pump houses?
Well, we would tie in at that pump house and then feed into the utility there, and then from there down to, because I believe that overhead line dead ends at pump house 8.
So we feed overhead line, that's.
Yeah, the existing overhead line.
That's utility owned.
Yeah, so we would work with Duke,
That would actually be good for like.
Edinburgh Electric. Okay, so we would work with Edinburgh Electric there. to get
And
permission to
they
do
give you
that.
credit back for supplying their lines?
In some cases, they do.
I thought in Indiana, they don't do that anymore.
So they don't provide if we overproduce. We don't get any money back for overproduction. But if we're producing on a line that dead ends and it's dedicated to your facilities, we can either buy that line from them, or we can lease space on that line, send power to yours, or we can just send it direct back to the grid.
So does that cost
on
to say where they want to lease space on the pole? I'm familiar with that, that's my industry.
Okay.
So if they want to lease space on that pole, so does that include the cost of installing power line on those poles to the other pump house?
No, it's not. The intent with the design that we've gone with is we'll set a single array in that location, feed back to the grid, and you'll get credit for that against your consumption.
I'm leery of that being possible.
And that,
I think the space will probably be the most viable, we'll probably have to come back. We don't have a room.
Not really.
and that's part of when we move into next steps, that's when we'll finalize the investigation on what method we use to get that power credit to the account that we produce.
That's a long drive, pretty much.
Yeah,
It's a long run.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of, utility expense on power lines for us.
yeah, that's where we would, again, in that, once we know where they'll give us credit on that, we'll know whether or not it continues to cash flow with the current public system. If not, if we can do smaller arrays in a few of the locations, some of
So definitely before we ever decide to pull trigger, that's the information that we need.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have that, yeah, that'll be fully fleshed out, vetted with utility, that way there's no surprises price-wise.
Now, I got a question too, about $2 million to do this project. How long will it take us to recoup that cost?
There's the cash flow that we're gonna show you here momentarily, it's about year 13, 14, you're gonna recoup your costs.
13, 14 years?
Yes, but there's also an IRA benefit, which we're gonna talk about here in a second too, so I'll get to that in 1 minute.
Right.
So the pictures, again, on that second page, the water treatment plant, this is where we need to still have some discussions about where we're gonna put the panels. Jeremy, you wanna talk about that too?
So on the south side of that road right there, I know we had talked about those, what were the
Trickle filters.
Oh, Those are gonna be coming out because they're no longer in use. So we were gonna run along the south side of the road. The issue we have is we're right up against that fence on the south side of them is the tree line causes some shading issues that drop production down. So if we can move north, if those filters come out, we can get outside of the shading and put the trees down in order to maintain full production.
Scott, on those filters, I thought one time, Denver wanted to keep, I thought they were still,
No.
they're not usable ever in.
It's not even pipe, there's not even piping that old to
Them things are pretty well ate up anyway.
I think
The way I was told, they were planning on taking those out, with the last project, but they started to run lower on money, so they, we take it out.
So there's two options with that, right? Put it where it is, and transfer it back across the road on the south side, shading out of the way, or it will and get outside of the shade.
I think we would look towards it more than improve the shading, because, like, for example, I mean, those will probably come out some days, but there's no plans to take them out at the current time, so that would be additional cost that we're not figuring right now. So on the front, that's actually look at the old scrub. So that tree, the tree, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's not a problem. Do we have to buy my map? Yeah, these and all that stuff too. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we buy.
With that.
Anytime come around here, put it down. Yeah, there's like, for example, just certain months of the year, we could do something like that. If there is, but that's. There you go.
Heard a lot about that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then third facility is the new water and sewer, offices, handled on top of the roof there. Okay. So if you go to the next, take the cash flow out. This gives you a real good idea of the cash flow and how that looks per year. The one thing that I thought we had this done, on this utility escalation, we only put 3% in there, it's probably more like 6 to 7%. So that would make these numbers look a little bit better. Because that's more realistic. The average rate increase in Indiana has been like 6% over the past 15 years. But here of late, it's been more like 15, 18, 20%. So let's just say it's 6 to 7%, but that would make, I will redo this with the 6% in there, and the numbers will look like that. And again, I want to talk about this IRA benefit. So if you guys did the whole project, potentially you can get back almost $800,000 to the federal government. That is going to be going away at the end of this calendar year. So if you can get something under contract by what they're saying today, July 1st, that number is 20.
Now, I talked to Scott about that original meeting.
Yeah.
With Med.
Yep.
So, we have to commit to the project. And the government payback is not a guarantee, but we're still committed to the project.
Correct.
But
I'll guarantee energy savings, but I can't guarantee that number. All I can go by is what the federal government's telling me the rules are today.
so there's no way to write the contract where we don't qualify for the grant, but we don't do anything with the qualify for this. So there's no, I mean, I kind of have an issue with, I mean, yes, let's say we decide we want to do the project.
Uh-huh.
And, I don't see a guarantee that, or if we get the grant, we'll continue the project. And I don't see that as a bad back and forth agreement between the two companies.
But I can't guarantee that federal.
But if we don't get the grant, then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the next thing for you guys to do is to advertise, okay? So I'll provide the advertisement for you. The next thing to do is advertise. I tell people, for both of our sakes, don't advertise if you're not committed to doing something, okay? But what that means is, even if you advertise and I get picked and we go do more due diligence, you haven't signed a contract yet, okay? So until the contract is signed, you're not liable for anything. Does that make sense?
So I'm guessing by what you're saying there, we don't actually sign the final contract, because we know the grant.
If that's your financial criteria, then yes, because everybody else says, well, how am I going to pay for this thing? Typically, well, it's cash, it's a bond, or it's a third-party lease loan. The grant situation, I know some of it's out there. but it's really hard to guess.
Well, we've run into that, especially with DOV.
Oh, yeah.
Not competition.
The city of Austin did one, they did a, oh God, what kind of a grant? USDA grant. It took them 4 years to get this thing. So the problem is, you can't, we're at a time crunch here with this, you know, 800,000, potential 800,000. It's gonna go away at the end of this year.
So Rick, just
Yeah.
make sure I got this right.
Yeah.
I mean, just gotta break it down. So you're close to $2 million for the project.
Yes.
If we would need to apply for that grant by July 26th.
Okay.
Is that what you just said, though?
No, we have to have a contract in place, is what the federal government's saying today, by July 1st.
Okay.
Under the current rules. Okay, so we've had to advertise, do all our due diligence.
I mean, is that, that's when we go around to have a contract that on conditions of, we don't get grant contracts with it.
Okay.
And with that $800-some thousand from the government, then that would drop our return rate back to what, about six years, 6 to 12
It
years?
would,
No, that's calculated.
that's calculated, it's calculated in.
Still be 12 to 13 years, 12 to
I think it
14,
was 13 to 14.
13 to 14 years to start making,
Including that, yeah.
I won't be alive.
You're probably the only one that still is, John.
You might have this all
We're talking about a grant, we're talking about reimbursement.
reimbursed.
So, and it's not the right term.
No. You mean, when you said grant,
Well, the government gives us.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so the government money, it is a check from the federal government.
Right.
Yes,
And that the program's going away at the end of 2026.
correct.
We have to have a contract by July 2026, to be able to apply for it?
To get it, okay? You have to have a contract in place by July 1st of 26 to get your,
And that's a certainty? If the
it is today. It is today. No, I mean, seriously, we get the bills from it. They just changed some laws where we had to have something called safe harbor by the end of 25. That was the one milepost, and now the new milepost is, if you want to get your money back from the federal government, you have to have a contract in place by July 1st.
And when did that money get paid to the town at completion of the project?
Correct.
So then how does the town fund the project?
Yeah, that's what we talked about. So cash, bond, third-party lease loan.
But a bond, you're just talking about an open market bond. I mean, state revolving fund, rural development, you said U.S. state, there's no way it's going to happen with rural development.
No.
I don't think state revolving fund makes money available.
Who's your financial advisor?
Well, I'm not sure right now. It has been Steve Brock historically.
Okay.
But it seems to me when you say bond, it is telling bonds in the old traditional sense, not tapping into USDA money or EPA.
Have you guys done bonds on anything else?
Well, we have for years because we've got SRF finance.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think we've done a project as far back as all the way back to the sewer project in 1999 or 2000. Everything we've done here has been SRF.
Okay.
Right, but they're not going to do this. And of course, we've gotten some money from Oprah along the way too.
Right.
But they just throw a little bit into the project.
Indiana Bond Bank.
Right.
Yeah, there's people out there. I've got a financial gentleman that I don't get anything for, or we don't get anything for, but I bring him and he meets with you guys, checks through all your financial situation, makes some recommendations on ways.
So we're going to have bond counsel, and we're going to have a municipal advisor to be able to sell those bonds.
Right.
And
My question is, would we have to increase any rates to be able to pay for it? And about how much, if it's 1.7
We were
million?
talking about total project, 1.7
If you did everything on
million,
1.9.
Yeah, but take away the 800,000 it's supposed to get from the government.
800,000, oh, I'm sorry.
So it'd still be like 1.2 million. Where'd that
1.1
come?
million,
Okay.
well, this column over here. for the project, not including utility costs. We got
Yeah, we've got.
previous,
And the project costs that you have include those soft costs of municipal advisor and bond counsel, and I mean, that'll be 70 to 100,000 of additional costs.
Yeah,
Is that in here?
It gets looped into the cost. But there's no see, I didn't do any financing on here, so financing is not included in the numbers that I gave.
You mean interest?
Correct.
But that's going to be, probably north of 5% right now on open bond markets.
Yep.
And that's not in here?
No, because I didn't know, I don't know how you're gonna finance the project. Yeah.
Okay.
Because some people will do bits and pieces of, some people will throw some cash at it and then finance the rest, we haven't gotten to that point.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Scott, if we go to do this, and they're gonna have to raise the rates, it would come out of the sewer, water sewer, right?
well,
And,
Should affect both.
yeah, I said water sewer. And how much is that gonna cost for us to do that per, household?
well, so here's the grand total, we get 799,248, 1.198873.
Yeah.
Will be our cost without,
Right,
if we gotta build utility
right.
or
Yeah, I'm not acceptable, he give you just a number off the top of my head, Charlie. That'd be shooting in the dark.
I mean, but why I ask it is what concerns me is we just increased the water rate. And then turn around and increase the sewer rate. That's gonna jerk a lot of people.
Well, we also have other things going on around here, as far as taxes and stuff.
well, that's
Yeah.
not gonna affect the student.
No, but what I'm saying though is that if we're increasing the rates, we've increased it already. If we do this, increase it again, and plus Nineveh, we're having the whole issue with Nineveh Fire Department.
Yep, that's gonna jack up. the
More money people are allowed to pay
Right.
out of the pocket, and we're gonna raise rates.
Right.
Yeah, that fire department thing, the average increase to people's homeowners, some be less, some be more, but right around about $105 to $110 a year more in their property tax. That's average. Some are gonna be lower, some are gonna be
So
higher.
Charlie,
What?
I know me and you won't be long moving up to see return on this. but
No, hell no.
What we need to look at is what our cost is gonna be and what we're gonna do for the future of savings. If it's there.
If the world's still here.
They're guaranteeing the energy savings to you guys too. That's what the legislation.
Well, you said that in our previous
Yeah.
meeting, if
Yes.
we ain't seen the savings, then
I have to write
Supposedly
you,
you-
I have to write you a check. That's what, it gets audited every year. The state makes me get your bills, send a report in. If I don't save the money I say I'm gonna save you, I have to write you a check. We have written 0 checks. We don't try to overpromise and
sorry,
under.
I'm asking the question we
Yeah,
addressed before because I know I haven't heard in the room.
yeah, absolutely. And again, guys, this is all about, for two things. First of all, a lot of capital projects that you do don't have any return to them, so that's one positive. Number two is this rate increase thing is just going through the roof right now. And it's not gonna get any better anytime soon. Somebody asked the question the other day about this nuclear thing, so you're seeing a lot of reports in the news about nuclear kind of having a renaissance. That's gonna take minimum 10 to 15 years to really, so again, we're trying to give you a scenario here where you're really cutting your costs, your utility costs, and this is gonna go on for, these things are gonna be sitting there for 30 years, let's say.
Well, that was getting ready to be
Yes.
somewhat of the next question for
Yeah.
me. So I don't know a tremendous amount about solar.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at a 13 to 14-year payoff,
Yeah.
what are we looking at, almost like infrastructure-wise, life of infrastructure, the life of the solar people, let's say, at the end of that 13 to 14 years? Are we
I
still
think you
looking
could
at?
bet with me and Scott, long time
Excuse
ago.
me?
I think you heard of me and you, that was another part of the question I had coming up, is to keep the solar array.
Yeah. There's a maintenance contract, and that's on your cash as well.
That's on here.
That's a full service maintenance contract that
And
covers.
solar service, that's it.
Correct.
Would we have to pay for the replacement of them if they wore out, or what?
It's not, the service contract covers all.
So we're looking at starting out $13,000 a year service contract, up to the end of the contract, $10,626.
Right. That's scooped them up, inverters.
Why does that go up? Is that the cost,
It's just that.
the cost of it yearly?
You guys probably have service with, I'm just trying to think of HVAC or somebody, and their costs go up.
So do you figure that on 3% too? So what if it's lower?
What's that?
What if it's lower?
What if it's lower? We'll pass it on.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of digest, I understand, and it is, and, but again, guys, it's, we've done a lot of these projects and continue to do them for communities, and, I've got a bunch of real good reference points here locally.
I would like to visit some of your customers, maybe me and Scott.
Absolutely.
Whoever else wants to go
You bet.
and actually talk to the customer.
You bet.
Oh, with North Vernon?
North Vernon, they did a project 6-7 years ago. They rebranded themselves as the Solar City in Indiana.
Oh,
They put a sun on one of the corners of their flag, but Mike Loach used to be the mayor down there. He's retired, but the new mayor is very positive about everything. He just did a project for town of Brownstown. I'm talking to Scott County right now about a project. So we've done them all over the state, but I'll be happy to get you some reference
I
points.
think I've seen one down around, I can't remember, one between Bloomington and
Yeah.
Bedford and all that. I seen one of the sewer plants had solar array.
Yep.
I don't know if it was part of that project.
On 65,
69 down.
69, we did the Nestle's, you seen the bunny out front with the panels? That was our project, yeah, so.
But I did see it. I
Yeah.
did see a sewer plant had a pretty nice size.
Maybe Shelbyville's another one that we did. We did 15 locations in Shelbyville, so.
So yeah, you can email me, you got our emails down,
Absolutely.
contacts for me and Scott, and Scott.
You bet.
I'd like to get some firsthand knowledge.
You bet.
from the customer.
And if you have any questions,
like North Vernon, just curiosity about how many years are they into their, is this brand new? or-
6 or 7,
Okay, so
Yeah.
they'd have a good,
we did their wastewater and like 20 other sites in North Front, so.
Now, you guys do, Scott asked me this last week, that's right. He was really hoping we'd have battery backup, like go out of power. Now, just thinking how much batteries cost, and I
Yep.
deal with substations, we DC back up all our substations.
Yep.
Those batteries get changed up. And they go bad between that time, and we gotta change them out, so.
Right.
And those battery arrays just for a small tiny substation are huge. So, I'm guessing it's a huge cost. Keep battery maintenance up.
The maintenance itself isn't too bad on the batteries. A lot of the ones we use for the arrays are iron oxide, so they've got a longer life cycle on them. They're typically right around a 20-year battery. They'll be operating between 80 to 90% of 20 years. So,
So that's probably not including maintenance programs, so we didn't discuss that, right? But, and that would, if we did a maintenance program with that, it's cost, but you guys would keep batteries maintained for the.
yeah, it'd be all part. So the way it works is typically we'll do, the performance guarantee on the array is about 20 years. If the models are years, back when it's 30. But the actual performance on the array is right around 30 years before you see significant loss. So we guarantee production performance, et cetera, out to terms of our break-even point guarantee. The manufacturers guarantee performance up to 30 years, so all your modules are 90% of efficiency.
What happens at the end of the
You're still producing, you're just
No, I know, yeah, so our service contract is over and it's our problem.
It can go on
You can
forever.
extend it as long as you want. We'll extend that service contract 50 years if you want, but at that point, you're looking at getting into repower. The equipment's gonna be obsolete.
Right.
We do the life of the system, or the life of the performance guarantee from the manufacturer for the system, and then go beyond that performance guarantee. We'll continue to maintain whatever contract
You should be getting 80% efficiency at like 25 to 30 years. You should still be getting 80% efficiency, so.
Maintaining there and keeping 100%.
They denigrate, they just do. The panels,
I guess in my mind, I'm guessing for maintaining them, they should be putting out 100% throughout that service contract.
the modules degrade over time when we actually design the array.
So what are we paying for the service contract then?
To keep the modules clean, to keep the inverters operational. If anything breaks or gets damaged, we take care of that. If there's any faults on conductors.
Do you offer 100% service contract?
Yeah, so we physically can't because the modules themselves are very different. So we offer, it's built into our cash flow modeling and our guarantee that shows that I think year one is about 2.5%, then it goes down about half to 0.2% degradation over the life. That's just because the modules over time, sitting in the sun all day, they degrade. So we can offer 100% maintenance on the system.
if you want me to swap out panels every year, I can do that, but it's gonna be cost prohibitive, so.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in my mind, going is, I mean, that's pretty pricey for the service contract per year.
Well, the inverters is where.
We got a bad panel and we're only getting 80% at year 5.
Panels really aren't the
I
cost.
mean, because they go back. I mean, look at it,
If the panel goes bad and it degrades more than we're contracted with our manufacturer, then we'll replace that panel.
Okay, what about Hawthorne? That's insurance?
That's usually through insurance, that kind of stuff.
We have not replaced the panel because of hail damage.
Yeah.
And, nope.
Gee,
And you need,
with the baseball.
I
Have
mean,
you seen it?
you'd need like literally a basketball-sized piece of hail to ruin these things.
Really?
We haven't had that.
Scott,
I'll get that. Sure.
but just by doing a quick math, if we did this for 20 years to pay it off, that's approximately $50 a month for each home in town. But our sewer will be paid off in 6 years. Could we afford to just go ahead and pay that increase for the 6 years? Because then the sewer will be paid off, they would use that money to finish it. If the sewer get paid off in 32.
He's gonna pay off the loan, we have money.
Right. So the sewer will be paid off in 32. Because I just don't want, I mean, it just bothers me to take and put another $50 a month on the homeowners, plus the tax and stuff like this. And it'd be another, after that, another 10, 12, 13 years before we start seeing a profit. But then after we get the profit, well, we start rolling the money taken from the homeowner. And I think they would expect that. I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
To be honest, Charlie, there's a lot to take in right here, and I'd sure like to review the situation a lot more before I start spouting numbers to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I just did a quick one at 1.2 at 5%, and then over 20 years per 800. You know, so it's going to be, yeah.
So what we're looking at, we've had a couple of expensive projects and we've had to pass that cost
I get
last
it.
year on to our customers. So that's what everybody worried about. And we have played with a 30-year loan on sewer that has made our sewer rates the highest in Indiana for many, many years.
Right.
And they've never forgiven the councils for that. So that's kind of what we're working with and why there is worry about
I get
stepping
it.
into another loan. So, yeah, and numbers, there's a lot of numbers here, a lot of stuff goes through, we need to digest.
Please digest. If you guys get some questions, I'll get references for you. And, yeah, it's just the clock's kind of ticking, so, I mean, if you guys figure out that you want to
Seems
do.
like I have more projects lately. Been taking
And
that.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's the way, that's what it is, so.
What's the code site again?
I'm sorry?
What's the code site again? The Indiana code site?
IC-36-1-12.5. It's guaranteed savings legislation. Yep.
All right. That's it.
They don't back out of it.
But they're looking at here, it's saying by school corporations.
Well, it handles anything public, so school, K-12, city, town, county, airport, library, all fit under it.
Scott, what's your biggest power draw? Is it the water treatment? Is it your sewer plant?
The two plants, yeah.
Well, no, independently.
Yes.
Which one's your biggest power draw?
As far as what we pull,
Yes.
the wastewater plant actually pulls a little more there on due, which is a little more rate wise. it's a little better.
Cheaper rates than
Yeah,
Edinburgh
but
Electric.
pull it, and then the water plant itself would be the same.
And they're Edinburgh
That's
Electric.
it.
They can,
Yes. Yep.
Wastewater is typically like 75 or 80% of your total energy and operational cost.
Yeah, it's by far.
What kind of, when the sewer loan's paid off, what kind of credit, we'll say credit, will each homeowner be staying after the sewer's paid off?
I've never looked that far into it, honestly.
I don't think we've
The
ever,
reason, I don't know one of my reasons.
I don't think we've ever decided to pay them or available.
So far, it's always been a bond refinance.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if, once that loan's satisfied, there's gonna be an amount that each homeowner's paying individually. I mean, that's something I would wanna know.
We had a financial analyst come over it once. So any of the rates now with all the regulations, a lot of these towns are catching back up because the cost of everything's going up.
Well, and that's what I'm
We
wondering.
did our plan way before anybody else had.
Yeah.
And now they're just catching up. So those costs are being passed on to those people now. So if I remember what, Scott, I don't know if there's going to be a huge savings paying the loan off.
Well, the reason I don't get too far ahead of it is because all the years I've watched IDM and EPA change things even by the year. So like, for me to give, I'd hate to give almost like a false pretense that we're gonna pay this loan off in 7 years and nothing's gonna change. Truth of it is, the wastewater plant's gonna be that much older in 7 more years than it is now. I just hate to, and that's why I'm not trying to avoid answering your question, it's just that, I've never delved into it so much that I can tell you that number, because I don't think there's a chance of it happening.
Just a lot of unknowns.
Well, and I think your financial consultants are synthesizing that into the rate settings they do on new projects, knowing that at some point during the term of a newer loan, the debt service on the old loan will fall off. And they calculate the rate knowing that revenue will be shifted over from an old loan to a newer one. So it's not the case that you get to a point one day and that falls off and you've got a bunch of money that you didn't have before. If they've done it the way I think they do, they've already committed it to service newer debt.
I mean, last year we put $100,000 in some of our pumping equipment at the sewer plant because it's 27 years old. And so we're looking at a system now that's going to need maintenance and some costs put back into it because we did all those upgrades 27 years ago.
Well, how much did it cost us to adhere to the new phosphate requirements
Yeah, that is,
and funded mandates?
yeah, I mean, that ended up being pretty good. Add a whole system to our wastewater plant just to meet requirements. And who knows between now and 32 what they might put on us. Hopefully not. Hopefully, my dream is that we'll pay that dude off in 7 years and we'll actually have, we can, if any, possibly, lower, if not, keep rates the same for years, but there's just so many unknowns.
Brooklyn will be over $140 a month.
Just for,
When you say that other towns are catching up
Right.
because they've had projects later than what you had, and postpone doing them much longer than they should have.
Yeah,
But it's not going to be at all uncommon to see sewer rates at $120 a month. That'll be commonplace here soon. People don't like it, shouldn't like it, and have every reason to be frustrated. And people on fixed income, you hear the argument and you understand it, but that's just what the reality is going to be.
Just move to the country and live in an outhouse.
Well, it's an option.
yeah, but you wouldn't believe, What it costs to put a septic system.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I did it back in two, 2010, I think it was, or early 2000s, and it cost me $5,000 then. You could imagine what it, probably about 15,000 now. What do you think, Anthony?
For yours, it'd be 15, probably 17,000,
Yeah.
17 to 20. Anyways, I wanted to make sure that in the rate consultant's formulas that he did include that fall off,
Yeah, we would
At
just
the
have
end.
to,
It's in there, I know.
knowing that we've had
right.
some problems in the past with some figures, but I just want to make sure we're not going to be negative anyways. And if we are positive, what could we do with that?
Yeah.
Positive number should it come through. So,
Sure.
and obviously we won't know till the loan's satisfied, but you know, it's something that we can look forward
Well,
to.
but they ought to be able to calculate that even before it's satisfied, and that's ought to be relatively simple if you
Well,
want
we
that answer done.
And we can go back to, you know, if, let's say we
Yeah,
decide to do
right,
this,
right.
let's say we decide to do this project, and you're asking about paying off sewer loan. I mean, we can go back to that, so it's gonna cost us money.
Yeah.
And have them refigure, you know, this is what we're thinking about doing, and.
I think before you can consider this very, very seriously, you've got to do that. And I think the interest rate on the project amount and the soft costs of securing that indebtedness, you've got to factor that in to actually know what the true numbers are. You're talking about the project cost to build it, but there's a debt service like anything else. You can go out and build a new home for however much it costs, but when you look at your mortgage loan payment over 15 or 30 years or whatever, that's what it's going to cost, not what the materials and labor are to get it built. And we don't have that factored in quite yet, right? But that's pretty simple too. You just have to have that financial consultant do it.
Do you have a breakdown of the cost of each project at each location?
Separated.
I can, yeah, that's pretty easy.
Okay.
Yep.
I'd like to see that
And you can look
personally.
at their website and see these different projects with the next, I was just doing that here.
I think the wastewater was like 1.4-ish. I think the pump house was maybe a couple hundred, and then the water was maybe 300. So that's, if you want to use those numbers. And that's why, you know, the wastewater treatment is your biggest.
And I'm curious if we move forward too, for you guys to see what the agreement would be with Edinburgh, whether it be granite or they sell us line, or what's gonna happen there, because I don't see connectivity on their power lines being a viable option. I just really just have a lot of doubt.
Somebody have a contact there that we can check with. And I'll call you and we'll get.
Sure, just give a call on it. Yeah, it's
We'll
newer.
do a little digging.
And I mean, because like, you know, I know we do, you know, we did it for Adbury,
Right.
but we're involved in that project as a company, we're kind of like a partner. And so I just don't know how Edinburgh is going to react to that, because a lot of companies don't want connectivity by a private person. So,
See, I don't know.
and matter of fact, I think you spoke about that at the last meeting.
Will it matter, since that's a dedicated line just for our well?
Well, that's what he suggested, maybe they just sell that
I
line.
don't think anybody else is.
Well, I'm trying to think about it, I'll have to drive it out again, but there is, I think, some transformers that feed houses.
But I don't think it comes off the same, like that line where it comes off that 90-degree corner where well 3 is that we're talking about. From there all the way to well 8, it cuts through the, more or less the field.
And there's none of them farms that are,
I don't think so, but
I can't remember.
yeah, I don't think there is, but.
The only place I saw transform for each
Okay.
But then number 8 is you gotta go, they have right
Yeah,
here.
that line actually cuts through those fields. It doesn't follow the road, it actually cuts across the field.
Scott, I'll call you, Mark.
Yeah, yeah, I'll get you those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's a hard question. There's a lot to digest, there is a lot to digest here with that. But we still got current projects going, so we're trying to get another one in going, we've been trying for years with UAB, so this is another one.
Alright, so we have Catherine from the park board here. Gonna give you guys a copy of our agenda from our first meeting of the year.
I get first. Mike, can I get this week?
Share and then.
Michael,
Well, I
is Mike okay?
think.
Well, yeah, make it this
You need
week.
it.
He went to a concert last week, so he's doing good.
Okay.
You ain't recuperated yet? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, did he step down?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
down?
he did.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but he's still working with us on the park board, so, as an ad hoc member. But basically what I handed out was just our first agenda for the year. I was appointed president of the park board. The vice president is new. That'll be Amy Norcross, which most of you know. Kim Osborne's here tonight. She is a ad hoc member, will continue to be an ad hoc member. Then we
What is
have
that?
ad hoc. So it's not a board member, but it's someone that does support, works on special projects and supports the parks. So,
Okay.
Caleb Spencer will continue out the rest of his term for this year and hopefully go on to another term the following year. So he's on the board. And then we have Christy Wright, who is new to the park board. We're excited to have her. She specializes working with kids with special needs, so we're super excited to have her. So those are your 4 park board members: myself, Amy Norcross, Christy Wright, and then Caleb Spencer. And then we have Kathy Lee, who's not here with us tonight, but she is an ad hoc member. She is not on the board. Again, another ad hoc member. Kim Osborne is an ad hoc member. And then we have another individual that joined as an ad hoc member, which is Nikki Ford. She works with the Nineveh Trustees Office, or what's it called now, Johnson?
Advisory board.
Yeah. So she's on that board. So she is not on our board, but she is working as a ad hoc member with us. So got a lot of great support this year. We're super excited. That agenda that I gave you, again, is just from our first meeting. Couple of fun things. We were invited to participate this year on May 17th, 16th, whatever that Saturday is, by Festival Country, at the amphitheater. They've asked us to come and display all of the things that we have accomplished with the park board, invite people out to Princess Lakes, to check out, our dog park and our community garden, our trail. So we're super excited about that. So we'll be attending that. We will have a table set up for that. Hours are 4 to 10. It's a great experience for us, great networking. We invite all of you to come in also. Then we also have our festival, which is our huge festival of the year. That'll be October 3rd. So that's also listed on there. The other item that I listed first is something that Greg's not here tonight, but we had talked about doing a Nineveh Road Cleanup Day and supporting that. We talked about doing that, I believe, what date did I put on there, Kevin? March 7th. So I'm going to wait for him to approach the council to make sure that that's good with everybody, but.
So I know he had a little heartache over these prisoners, people like that to pass.
Oh, okay.
So what is your vision of that?
I personally think we did a great job having everybody that came out last
Just
year.
volunteers, local volunteers?
Yeah, we had a huge turnout last year. It was great. We had 50 people? It was great. We had a great turnout. People signed up for it. They showed up. There were extra people that showed up that didn't sign up. That's okay, but worked out great.
So now the police department will be in as kind of safety?
Yeah, so water department last year, they supplied some vests that we could borrow. Police department has some too. Everybody just brings clothes they don't care about, protective shoes and bring gloves. And then we had the trash bags. And then they kind of just monitor and make sure that we're safe. Yeah, but it worked out really well. I mean, we had a dumpster and a half full of stuff just from,
Yeah, first location.
um,
They put it up in our payment day.
yeah, I'm not sure. I have to look and see who paid for the dumpster.
We, kind of look for a draft system to do away with the $50,000 a year number
Yeah.
fees,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I'll have to check and see. I'm not sure who paid for that. Do you remember them?
No, I know.
I don't really remember all of it, because it's not really our project for the Nineveh Road cleanup, but it's just something that we want to support.
Does the county, anybody else have any money out there for that? I mean,
I'm not sure. I know Greg had mentioned before looking into something like that. I had asked about it as well, just for the kind of area that's not necessarily
we're paying that.
where a house is at.
Paying the two county roads, aren't we? Where's Brown stuff at?
It's
Put on
not.
Baptist.
Yeah.
At least Johnny can.
Yeah.
It's about where the bridge is if you head out south.
Yeah, we stop right in the corner, and then we don't go any further than the gas station. So we don't even go all the way to the new four-way. So we just kind of start right there and work our way back. And it's still a lot, a lot of trash. We talked about last year putting up, having signs installed for trash, people dumping trash, finding them for that. So I'm not sure where we're at with that.
They just gonna stop people from throwing
Well,
it back there. It's just another sign.
Just
People
another,
that pay attention to them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully, the trash is already there again, it's quite a bit, so hopefully there's not another mattress in Box Springs. But, you never know.
I didn't realize you collected so much.
Mhm. Sometimes I wonder if there's camera footage to see if it's coming from the trash trucks, like as they're coming around that, flying around that bin, because I just can't, the amount of trash we pick up, it's just unreal.
I'm sure some of it does.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, that's our first anticipated kind of supportive event is March 7th. It's usually in the morning hours. We start at like 8. We meet over here behind the liquor store and start cleaning up. The only other thing that I have today, we met with the town manager of Trafalgar. Lindsay met with us as well. Thank you very much. Brian. Great, thank you. He was there. I invited him to come out. We had Nate. Thank you. They're part of the Trafalgar Little League. They are anticipating, and Kim was there, sorry. They are anticipating their signups to go up to around 400 kids. They are running into issues at because of the purchase of the school building, parking situation. So they've been hesitant on wanting to put any more into the fields kind of over there. They really like Princess Lakes Fields. However, there's quite a few things that we've inherited as the park board that we need the town's help to fix. One of them is the men's bathroom. The urinal is
So,
still
I'm
leaking.
glad you brought that up. So that's been with
Yes.
the, taking their part of their contract to take care of it.
Yes, so in their contract, they are not subject to replace piping or anything like that in the
If
bathrooms.
they unlock it and they get disrupted, to me, it seems like it falls under their responsibility. And
They,
when they need it unlocked,
well, they don't, so that's another issue. So, they have found out, and we found out today, that the bathrooms are somehow getting unlocked and they're getting destroyed or messed with. There is no lighting back there that keeps them lit, so they're kind of back there, like you don't know who's going in there. The doors are falling apart at the bottom. The doors were locked when we went today, but you can clearly see like the urinal is still not fixed. It's still leaking. The water's off down there right now, but it's still not fixed. And one of the toilets, I think, still in the men's bathroom is not working. So we do have town to our board falls under to get those fixed. Those items fixed. Those are kind of urgent.
It's been a long time,
Yeah.
but Franklin Attic is a big Little League.
Mhm.
Most of that money came from Little League for repairs of the facilities. So what are they doing to help us if we're gonna get facilities?
That is one of the reasons why we met today. I created actual checklists, which I'll give one. But Lindsay got to see that too, but we just went through a list, started checking things off. Everything, lots of safety concerns. There's fencing that is up like this on the infield, outfield, needs to be tied down. There's a whole checklist.
So we pretty much took care of almost everything at Franklin. I mean, fencing, fields, brick dust, bases. I mean, but like I say, it was a bigger product, a bigger program.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just wondered if they're wanting us to get everything from the town and not,
No, I think that's not the,
No.
whether it be sweat labor or whatever.
Yeah, no. Actually, they've done a great job with actually getting information and things, to try to get things fixed. Like, for example, the tiny little pipe sleeve field, I think they called it
T-ball.
PV League, I think what they called it. Yeah, it is completely grown. There is no dirt. It's gone. It is just grass. And it grows so well because there's drainage problem. But, I think it's ABC company, I can't remember the name of they offered to come in and completely dig it out for free. So, I'm okay with that. Obviously I'll have the utilities marked to make sure that, that's good to go, but, as far as like grading the ground, making sure that looks good, they do all of that. The issue that we have is what we've inherited, and that's the bathrooms for one. There's a plumbing problem.
And we spent a bunch of money on it.
Yeah.
I just don't wanna see it.
Well, the bathrooms were worked on last year, the urinal, but it was.
Urinal never got fixed.
Yeah, you know, and that was on
They
the,
just flushed out.
so that, yeah.
In July. So when I started in July, every morning we go.
But we didn't have that.
Now, but this last summer there was no Little League.
Well, didn't we have a key box? It didn't work out so well.
Well, I'm gonna get to that. Our park, we have no keys. We have no keys, and we need a set of keys. I think, Tony, you have a set.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at. So, and the bathrooms, I think the Little League even said, the last time they had checked, they were not.
Well, like, I swore Mike said we installed a key box last year, but the key came out missing from the key box.
Yeah, he was talking about that, yeah.
No, that was.
No,
That's why we were-
problem we had last year was, there was one key to the concession stand.
Yeah, they didn't want us in there.
Yeah, apparently they con-
part of the deal with those.
No, that's done in our.
they contracted.
It was,
We have a dumpster, we're gonna get it, we're working with Trafalgar Little League, but we're getting a dumpster, that whole thing's getting cleaned out.
Yeah.
Everything's, none of the refrigerators work.
the people who did that, destroyed everything in
That's why they
there.
didn't want us in there.
It absolutely,
They charge the league, what, $6,000?
yeah, $6,000. It's,
To use that.
it is, I think, a million years leave.
So it's been, our council, we met with the Little League vice president, really thought he was going to take the number one. So we're hoping, I guess I'm hoping.
I think this is gonna be a better.
Yeah, Wes and Nate are very, very, very involved. I mean, I think that they have bought stuff out of their own pockets.
Let's go.
Yes, yes, they're like Keon and Nate, they used to, like, you know, I was asking, Catherine, like, well, you know, who's taking care of the Trafalgar Fields? It's literally Wes Young and Nate Bryant. The town of Trafalgar does not, I don't think they sink any money into the field. It's literally a labor of love for these two men. I mean,
And they're now because of the gift purchase in school and the parking is parking there kind of thing. And so it's a bit, they anticipate being here.
So the money is.
Yeah, so, we're gonna do everything that we can as a park board, you know, cosmetically, you know, we can do all kinds of things, but there are other things, you know, we need the pre-existing stuff fixed.
Anthony, we were thinking that,
Yes.
Yeah, they went down last fall, I believe.
Yeah, it's been painted.
And they've got sandbars, threshold ramps.
Yeah,
So I agree you need a key
yes,
to the concession stand back.
and there are padlocks. No one-
Well, we can cut those
We
off.
got both cutters.
so,
But when you hand a key out, it comes with a fine if it doesn't get returned. And that fine needs to be stiff enough that it's gonna get returned.
We know where all the keys are, right? I mean, you've got the keys. Yeah.
So Catherine and I were talking about this earlier, and this is my opinion. I think that the street department is key. Police department is key. I think the park board is key.
Yes.
The Little League reports and communicates with the park board about Little League stuff. They absolutely have a key. If there is, like, to me, those aren't like extra keys. Those are like the necessary people that need to have access to those buildings.
Absolutely.
And if we have a key here, it needs to be accessible by, like, whoever comes in here needs to be able to get to it. It can't be like in a safe where.
Well,
We're all
if the keys, no, if the key, I feel like it would be maybe like, right, that's what I'm saying, police, street department, and park board. Those, right.
But they don't have a key.
Before,
Well, that, we're saying,
before we started doing anything down there last year, there was a key to the concession stand that hung inside that building up there by the parking lot. And you press the code for the overhead door, it would raise up, you could get the key and go open the concession.
Battery might be dead and a little bad.
I think Jordan changed the code.
Yeah.
I don't there, when you're talking about it's not there. But he could open the garage door, but all that equipment belongs to the
Little bit.
west. We only have a small storage, and you can explore that garage.
But there's no key for that 36-inch door out front. It is open?
Our storage, yeah,
Oh,
through the garage,
oh, yeah.
so, well,
Yeah,
but we did get the garage door.
if you get the keys, it seems like it's kind of like not that hard to get done, but when you get all the locks made the same, you got one person on the park board who's appointed to hold the key, as far as I'm concerned. And then if you're giving a key out to the Little League, I would say set up whatever it costs to replace that or rekey that lock times 2. That way that thing gets returned. And that only that one key can be made. Because if we got different keys for everything down there, it'll just, you'll have the one key.
Greg can rekey all those locks if we need to. What we need to do is gather up all the keys we've got, find out what we've got the most of, and key the locks to that key.
And have 4 keys. Well, I got a grinder.
No, that's
There's no ventilation, and the health department, we have to have ventilation in the bathrooms and the concession stand, there is ventilation.
There are ventilation fans in there that come on.
In the bathroom?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you see?
When you open the door and walk in, the light switch should come
Well,
on.
we have to open
fans
those
come
windows.
Huh?
Cut the bolts off the windows, like,
Oh, you're talking about the concession.
yeah.
But if you're wanting to vandal-proof the bathrooms, maybe it's something that you need to look into getting steel toilets, stainless steel toilets, like prison toilets. It sounds strange, but Franklin Parks did it, because I was being called in there every month to fix all their porcelain china in their bathrooms, because they were getting vandalized, and finally they put the stainless steel in. You gotta beat those with a sledgehammer.
It's the ones they came, and I think that was started last year.
Maybe that's something to do away with. The urinal's a lot of maintenance,
Yeah.
and maybe that's just something you do away with. Disconnect it, cap it off, and be done with it.
Yeah, it's solid, you don't need to hear them.
Just put it in there.
The lighting at the field, there's a lot of bulbs out, and they're from like forever ago. Do you remember anything about them?
Jordan Petro told me she was gonna have all that lighting replaced last year.
I can't get involved in this anymore since it's Parks Department now. But the basketball court was, we paid for material. They were getting C to donate their time, the trucks, and install the bulbs, the lights. I mean, they saved us a fortune. So.
I'll reach out to them because I'll definitely.
Jack down here.
And of course, we paid the power bill. But, I mean, it did save us a lot of money.
The
Get
bulbs
LED
that
lights.
The bulbs that are down there are the big, they're like C9, but they're like huge. You know what I'm talking about? They're really old.
Yeah, they're probably getting a good portion of those.
No, Brian Gregg said that we just need to replace the head because,
Try to get LEDs and put in there.
yes.
Yeah, that's what we put on basketball court. Less energy for us, guys. They're very bright, and they got a long lifespan.
Will those go in the buildings?
You put them all-
The probably always saying that they don't need mass wire and plus pits. Probably don't say. So, the one, this one thing is, you can probably get all the poles and lights, make it possible. But there's also, which Erica has been involved in, we've actually got a grant money from our agency that has paid for projects around here too. I don't mind pass that on to you, but they, what was it, $10,000 one time?
Yeah, the first year was 10,000.
That was to go toward our parks, so,
I have to look at, I don't know what the breaks swap.
it's every year. We got it 2 years.
Yeah, a couple, I believe it's a couple times a year.
So here's the problem. These are things that can be done like now because they start practice
I mean, we got it quick.
March.
When they're available, they just post it quick.
I'll reach out to them. The biggest thing that needs to be, I'm asking for the town to kind of help out with this whole leaking bathroom situation. These kids are going to be using the bathroom in 2 weeks. You know. We'll have to have the water turned on, by the way. So we need to get that fixed. It's been an ongoing issue. It's kind of an issue we've inherited.
We don't want to turn the water on in 2 weeks.
No.
You still got freezing temperature.
Yeah.
Do they come up here to go to the bathroom?
I would suggest renting a couple porta pots
Yeah.
until if you typically don't want to turn the water on in those until what?
It'd be a nightmare.
April, May, March.
Probably April.
No, you said it in 2 weeks. I'm like, I haven't even signed my kids up.
Well, they're doing signups and evaluations in 2 week, and I already, mother of 3, I know there's going to be kids that are like, I need to go to the bathroom. So,
If we should have gone now, like I said, get these broken lines and we had the bigger mess we got then.
Yeah, our agency though, for that one, but they love to give to community parks.
okay.
So it's same way as my company that I work for, but they don't serve our parks. So, but we give money every year to parks in all the little communities we serve. So they've been very good about it
Yeah.
last several years. So, I mean, if we don't get 10,000, they might give us, what was a small one? 1,000.
Yeah.
If it goes, like, if it's passed, or, you know, another grant cycle, is there any use Boom, get up there and,
We'd have to.
Do we have the funds in the park board to handle something like that?
I don't know if you could rent one big enough to get that
There are ones out there to rent. I don't know,
Well, yeah.
like Edinburgh County.
high. Yeah, they might get one
45
together.
people over there.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking, most of your light poles or, well, I put 40s out here. Those, 10, plus 2 in the ground, 37 feet to working height.
They kill
I'm
them.
not throwing it.
Your husband would.
Yeah, he would. But yeah, I think I don't know if Billings has one, because,
They do,
do they?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a single light that is, somebody maybe know the answer to this, where the basketball courts are. So you have like the cluster of lights.
They've been asking for lights on that court for a couple years.
Well, there's one light, I don't know that it works. It's by itself, it's just one single light that's just there. But I can tell the
We
ball.
should just play in the dark.
The things that are kind of urgent, some of the other stuff, like the fencing and everything, we're gonna have to, I've got a whole laundry list, but the good news is Trafalgar is looking into, they're checking with RDC, the legal side of things to see what they can do to help
Do you know
with things here.
if, we're paying RMC bill on that?
I think less.
So they're
I
obligated.
don't know if
If we're paying for
Bill.
it, it's fair.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you cheat.
You, all I didn't
Yeah. I thought he even mentioned that. He said our electric bill here, and then
know, it might be here, I'd have to go down and look at it. It might be here, I'll put it, we don't- Like the one we did right here, those are all, or, you know,
Right.
we can put a bill.
that's our main focus this year. And the kids, the second up is, they're anticipating, like I said, close to next year. We've got 80 more kids. So we really just, they like our fields the most. They use Trafalgar here and but Morgantown, kind of, there's not a lot. They, they're trying to schedule a whole there. And they're running into this issue out there, so. We're gonna be it. We're the one.
So you just need funds to hire a plumber
Yes.
and then rent a lift,
And we should be, the good thing, dumpster, completely.
so there's a dumpster down
So
there.
we pay them for fuel.
Yeah.
They won't. Dumpster.
Oh, you mean like the fridge and stuff? That's what you're, okay.
Why haven't you asked me to go down to the thing? Most folks down here into some of this.
Oh, well, I thought you were, did you go down there last year?
No,
Why can't you?
no. I bought a part for him. I don't know who did the work.
I think our parks department stands for, I think.
If he needs something substantial done, I can do it. So small.
That's substantial.
What's that?
Around
The
the
dome
dome.
is dangerous. It's broken.
So are you all
Serious? Uh-huh. I mean, I'll show you guys the check. We went through, I gave everybody a checklist. Took pictures, wrote everything down, and rushed it.
It's been an issue last several years.
Yeah.
That's why I say, I've been happy with it for the week. I mean, we find out
I
what the
don't-
problems are bad.
I don't think we have a contract with them anymore.
We do.
Well, the park does that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Last year.
Last year, I don't think we did.
No, we did.
No, the park board does, not us.
Yeah, you guys. but we do.
And that was was that the first?
But see, here's the thing, the concession stand, that wasn't in their hands. That was the other
They
person.
contracted that.
That's not an issue anymore.
Now, if the park board wants to make some money, find the people to do it and run the concession stand. That's where your money's at.
Well, I would say that's another little league issue, but, you were a coach or a band member on the team.
When my kids were playing, you were to.
Right.
Do you either volunteer or you pay like $20 extra to not have to volunteer,
Right.
but that's your
There are a lot of kids that can't afford to play.
Yeah.
So that concession, we're not gonna take that. Like, we're gonna let them use that too. They don't make much.
You would be surprised, and I learned this through the band league, that there is a large number of children who play sports in our area that are low income, like a lot.
Get subsidized by.
Yes, a lot.
It's $100 a kid to play. So any kid that can't afford it, they can still play. But that concession stand helps them kind of offset. Because they're paying for the uniforms and equipment. Some kids don't have equipment. So I don't want to take that money. And it's not a huge money maker either. The other thing we need is a sewer cap, Scott. Is that something you do? Sewer.
Trying to pump that.
Well, the big one, but then we also have the little one.
I mean, we can
That's
just
her.
can't. Away with it.
We have two. There's two problems. The big, we'll call it the turtle,
Yeah.
and then the little cap.
Just like a cleaned out cat.
Yeah.
I mean, we could, we could stick it.
Somebody just took it?
It looks like a dinosaur's been over there. You left for the bathrooms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were freezing. But it worked out. We got everything we
We
needed.
do always, just for your heads up, we definitely, when we do turn that water on, we want somebody down.
Yeah.
Because there's usually a bit of a frozen line. There's always some kind of, usually like one of our guys.
Okay. Yeah, the last thing I have, and I'm sorry, taking up so much time, I just wanted to bring you guys up to speed.
I was a talker, but
Oh, really quick, during the games, they're gonna have games there every night, between like from 6 on, and they did ask that we do. They have issues with parking, they have issues with
we
people
talked
in.
about that.
I just wanna, throw it out here.
And we had one sitting down by the ball fields there, the office businesses, but.
Yeah.
Still going on now.
So the gates that open up that you can drive back through and back in to get to the concession stand, they let people with handicap, parking to go in there. And then people that are like umpires or,
Now, the problem with the officer though, we only pay for one on shift, so if he gets called, he gets pulled away.
Yeah.
but we just want to make sure there's an area clear for emergency vehicle. And then, of course, people aren't double up parking, so.
Maybe it'd be wise to go through and put some stakes in and just rope it off a parking area where they have to actually pull in on each side. And they aren't triple parking each other.
People try not to park in grassy.
Yellow area. Yeah.
It's really tough. But a lot of them will park along that stretch, that stretch of road. Double park.
If you put a tile in that water hole over there,
I didn't know if it was like a major problem or.
it's about to be prioritized. If it's,
Just that one slab.
yeah, it's back in behind the backstop on the hard island from Roselle.
There is also washing between the little kind of kiwi leaf field and the next one to it. And it's coming from the hill. It's washing down, but then it washes out field 2 which is the middle field, is the one that gets
You may have to take
good.
the rubber and
That's
mark
the
it
one where
down.
Dave's saying that there's, depending on who's playing, that metal tube or whatever it is exposed because it's washing out so bad. I think he said it when it's 8 you boys and 10 you girls, the home plate, wherever it's moved to, that metal tube is just exposed. That's a,
Metal tube for what?
Yeah,
It
that's what
holds
I,
the plate in
Yeah.
place, so it's like kind of sticks out of the ground, it's like a stake.
Oh,
But it has to be there because it holds the plate in place, but when it washes out,
square tube.
yeah. But what's happening is the runoff's coming from the hill behind the liquor store into the two fields, and it's washing them all out.
well, you can take some dirt away in your pounder and
That's all I have.
thank you.
Let me ask
if you got the time.
Oh,
Did mine went off the park board?
yeah.
Okay, so how did he get replaced?
He appointed me and we voted at our
The
meeting last
the
week.
council has to appoint members to the park board. I mean, that's statutory, it's not,
Okay.
We,
and it can be whoever you,
Well, who is it?
but I mean, it is up to the,
you're looking
So did we just vote
Well,
then? Now?
at the same time, we've got some members on the planning commission that need to be reappointed.
Yeah.
And we've got 2 new members on the BZA. Is that right?
We need to.
We need to.
I don't know if we got names for them yet, but we need 2 new BZA members.
We got Greg Nelson, and a guy was supposed to call you. Well,
Yeah, someone did, I emailed.
let's stay on the park board here.
Okay.
Okay.
So you had a vacancy, and you're supposed to have staggered terms. One is for 1 year, one's for 2, one's for 2, one's for 4 who were appointed. So
My term, I was vice president.
it doesn't matter what the office
Okay,
is. It matters about the appointment to the park board.
Okay.
Park board member.
Okay.
You guys decide who the president, vice, and all that stuff is.
Yeah.
But when we formed the park board and 4 members were appointed, one was 1 year, one was 2, one was 3, one was 4. This was in his term, it was vacated on the first Monday in January.
I think it's on there.
And at that point, then, the council has to appoint someone to fill that seat.
He fulfilled his term to the end of his term.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so that was the only vacancy you had at the beginning of this year?
Correct.
So then there needs to be an appointment to fill that. And that needs to
No,
be
I
acted by
lied.
the council.
I lied. We had Tim. Tim's term ended. So we technically had 2.
Yeah. Well, how did he get replaced?
We just appointed, we appointed some.
So who replaced him?
It's on the paper.
Amy.
Amy,
No,
okay.
no cross.
So then,
I moved up to president. I see it as vice. Yep.
okay, so then, I make a motion.
What about Christie? Was she on there?
So when someone gets reappointed,
So we got,
that's 4 years? Okay.
Okay.
we got 2 we have to appoint.
Correct.
Yes, so I make a motion to appoint Catherine Gleason as the president of the.
They decided the president.
Yes. So
You just appointed to the board.
Amy and Chris.
Oh, I see, okay. Motion to appoint Catherine Gleason and Amy Norcross.
I think it's Christie Wright.
Christie Wright.
And Christie.
She's already on the board.
But their terms didn't end though.
Christie Wright.
So we're-
The captains didn't end either.
Mine didn't end.
So we need to appoint 3 people. then.
2.
So it's just Chrissy and
Amy.
Amy.
Yeah, but there's 3 positions
No,
that you guys need to go into.
she was already on the board.
Yeah, so Christie and Amy.
Christie is a replacement and Amy is a
All right.
replacement.
But you can
I
vote
take
that.
To appoint Amy Norcross and Christie Wright.
To the park board.
Second,
Park board.
Second.
Votes.
yes.
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 This term is now for 4 years. Once the initial 1, 2, 3, 4 year terms expire, then each reappointed, or each time that seat is filled, it's a 4-year term for everybody.
Okay, so if I took a new, that doesn't matter. I fulfill out the one that I was already in,
Yes.
no matter what my title is.
Yes.
You've got nothing to do with your
Not the
title.
title, okay.
You're on until the end of
So the 2 new
12.
ones are on 4, and that's how we have it. Yep, that's what we got.
Perfect.
And your ad hoc members that you refer to don't vote.
No, absolutely not.
And you comply with the open door law.
Correct,
Okay. And you're meeting here and you're,
correct.
okay, perfect.
Yep, our meeting was last week and it's on video.
Okay.
Perfect.
And that's our agenda.
Sorry, Kevin, this is new. I mean, so
Hey.
park board for us is new
Same.
and good catch on that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Now I know.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Do we have public forum?
Joe.
Yeah, great. I'll be brief. Joe Standifer, Huntington Insurance. We have a property cat insurance from town. I believe it's already voted on, but I want to make sure we had a review here tonight. I have some copies if you want, or if you want to walk through kind of a high level review of coverage, or just want to have.
My question was, do you reevaluate every year? Because we add infrastructure and stuff and tearing out infrastructure within a year.
Eric and I get together 90 to 120 days before renewal, kind of walk through the vehicle list, location list.
Do you talk to Scott? Because we pulled out some infrastructure too.
Okay. I've got a complete list, and it can be amended any time. It's not a one-time shot, but I can proceed however. We just
Yeah,
open the floor.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if those pits will all matter. I mean, because they weren't being used anyway. But well, we're building the tower, the cement pits and all we tore out.
Thank you.
Now we're building the new tower.
Yeah, we'll have to add to do this.
Thank you.
I don't know if the Golden Ring come.
Yeah, those old, what we, when we do away with the old reservoir.
And was our building completed when we redid the insurance? Yeah.
Yep. It's on there. Correct.
As soon as you get your new reservoir done, then you could tear down the old and add that one and probably equal out, maybe a little bit more.
Any new vehicles, Scott? Yes.
Just the one from last year.
I'll go kind of real high review of coverages. If you have questions, stop me, kind of keep this whole conversation along with me talking at you. For what it's worth, again, Huntington Insurance is a wholly owned subsidiary of Huntington Bank. We do act as an independent insurance agency, 350 employees in about 26 states. Lots of resources, and have a department that specializes obviously just public entities. So that's everything I'm at. On page 4, you see a schedule of locations. These are just physical addresses. There are equipment that wouldn't necessarily have physical addresses still covered. It's still the property policy. Page 5 is to the top line there, building and personal property. We do what we call a blanket limit. But 21,415,520 is a pool of money we pull from and then we have a property claim to replace equipment, contents, reconstruct structures. We blanket that limit together so that if we have $1.2 million valuation of a certain building and it burns down, we have to rebuild, it actually costs $1.5 to rebuild, we can pull from those funds as long as it doesn't exceed that $21 million. So something we evaluate, Brian, to your question, on an annual basis. Let's kind of take a look at that stuff. Following on there's also equipment breakdown coverage, that same limit. So most common type of equipment breakdown claims, power surge that fries a server or a computer or an HVAC system. We've still got full coverage for all that type of stuff. What happened to any location that's on the policy itself. That's up page 9. We do have coverage for mobile equipment. I think it's in a police vehicle or a known vehicle that's on the road or a laptop that you may take home, any kind of personal property that's not at a specific location, we have covered under an inland marine policy. A little bit of crime coverage as well, page 13. That'll be forgery alteration. We write a check for $500 instead of next say $5,000 in the bank clears it. We're going to cover that for you. If Erica's cooking the books and she's stealing some money out from the town, we're going to come back and reimburse those funds as well. There's some little bit of social engineering frauds, some limited cyber coverage. We have a standalone cyber policy to address more of that. And so that's built into the crime as well. The liability section starts on page 14. I do want to make a note that these coverages, these liability coverages extend to every elected official, so everybody on the board individually. If you're named in a lawsuit along with the town, we're to defend you as well. Please shake this out, not get confirmation for that. We'll get to higher limits later, but the general liability is $1 million for any one occurrence, a $3 million on the aggregate. So, of course, a policy year that picked up $3 million. Again, we'll get to higher limits later, and I'll review that.
So what if the whole council suit?
The whole council suit, then we have that, depends on which one it's for, but there's a $4 million umbrella that extends the per occurrence limit, so it's a total of $5 million. And the defense costs are not impacted by that figure. So, to give you an example, if it costs $500,000 to litigate it and we lose and the settlement's $3 million, you still have $2 million of that $5 million. So the legal fees don't erode the limit. It's a good question. We have general liability, which covers bodily injury, property damage alleged to be done by the town. There's public officials, errors and omissions liability coverage. Employment practices, which extends to alleged harassment, discrimination in the workplace. There's also the law enforcement liability. Again, these are all $1 billion for one occurrence, $3 million aggregate. So malicious acts coverage. Big a shooter at a school shooting, God forbid, but there's coverage for that. It's built-in funds for counseling and extra security things like that. Commercial auto, schedule you talked about that, there's a list in here that follows. There's $1 million for liability. We hit someone, hurt them, or damage their property. There's also $1 million built in for uninsured or underinsured motorists. Uninsured motorist hits a police vehicle, totals the vehicle. The at-fault party has no insurance. We're going to pay to replace that vehicle anyway, from a liability standpoint. The following page of 17 is the current vehicle list. Again, there's something on it that should come off. You can certainly take that off. Vehicles we purchased. There's built-in coverage for short-term use, a little bit of wiggle room. We like to keep an updated list. Those vehicles are $500 comprehensive and $1,000 collision deductible. Okay, excess liability on page 18. So often referred to as an umbrella, just like it sounds, it sits all like an umbrella over top of the other coverage, it extends those coverages. We had $4 million, so $5 million is the complete limit for any one liability claim that does cover the auto liability, general liability, and the work comp, which is employer's liability. The reason we choose that number is tort law restricts how much we can sue an entity for, and so there's no reason to buy a $10 million liability or umbrella because you can't be sued for that much. So we buy the what's allowed by law to be sued. Lastly, the workers' compensation. That's done obviously based on payroll. That gets audited every year. Eric has to just want paperwork to get that finished, which we appreciate, but we should stay up on those payrolls. If you'll note in the middle of the page, it's a line called experience modification at a 0.86. This is your report card. So the state of Indiana, actually National Council of Compensation Insurance, assigns you this modification based on your experience. They expect you to have a certain amount of work comp claims. If you have more than they expect you to have, your experience modifier is above a 1. If you have less, it is below a 1. So at a 0.86, you're having 14% fewer claims than the state expects you to have. That gives you an automatic 14% discount, plus a further discount because the underwriter believes that trend will continue. And you might say, hey, we haven't had any claims in a while. At a certain point, the math works out, so the experience might can only get so low. So it's based on a running 3-year period with the most recent year not looked at. So we had a claim 2 weeks ago before the policy renewed. It's not going to impact that mod yet. It's the 3 previous years. Just flipped to 20.
That's where I kind of drew my attention.
Yeah.
So for our reserve officers,
Yes.
the coverage seems kind of low if we get officer shot.
Sure. So if it happens in a lot of duty, there's work comp coverage for that. Right? That's a great question. This is kind of, if we're working at the ball fields and these off hours, and there's stuff happening there, there's some coverage for things like that. But if it's on the clock, there's still, the work comp would respond.
Okay, so this is what, if work comp covers it, this is extra?
Correct.
Okay. So like his income, loss of income, there I see a coverage for that, 290 a week. I mean, that's 28 days.
So work comp benefits, so we can replace income until they're off 7 days. So if officer's hurt, he's out 5 days, there'd be no work comp.
That covers that?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Kind of fills the gaps in to take care of our officers.
Okay.
And then lastly, the premium summary page. We're looking at about a 4% increase year over year, which, given the addition of a new building and the current insurance marketplace, it's pretty good renewal. I did contact 2 other carriers, kind of take a quick temperature check on where their rates were. Both the folks I talked to were significantly higher than what the current carrier is, so we're recommending that we stay there.
Who with?
It's called Astra. The paper that's behind it's called Great America.
Great America.
Cincinnati, yeah. And the IPAP, the Indiana Public Employee Plan, might still work on.
And like Joe said, we've already approved this into last year. We'll do an extra
So I got one question.
Sure.
We made, over to this with him. Have you reviewed this? I mean, are we comfortable to,
In
coverage? Or like being sued, being officer hurt, or
Well, it's a lot of it's that.
liability on our,
Yeah, and there is the Public Liability Act in Indiana that provides really, really broad immunity. It's really hard to sue a municipal entity in Indiana. And then this cap at the 3.5 million, right? Or
I think it's 4, but yeah.
4.5?
Yeah.
So what I've actually had to do in some cases in the past is dial back what was excess liability coverage, because in some cases there were attempts to sell to my municipal clients more liability coverage than what they needed, because the act limits how much can be recovered by a claim against the municipal or political subsidy. So you don't need more coverage than what the law allows. Which is the point, that sure, they're not trying to sell you more than what you need.
Okay.
But they are selling you up to the amount that someone could recover.
Okay.
So, sitting apples to apples, I mean, I don't get involved in the insurance review process, but this looks very much like what I see.
Okay.
And I think the other thing that's important, and there have been failures, I think in one instance or two, for Princess Lakes. Well, that there were mistakes or there was confusion several years back on what the value of our assets was. And it really is important to annually kind of take an inventory. You brought this up at the beginning, Brian, that if you've taken some assets offline, let's get them off.
Sorry.
Let's get them out of that value. And if you've built new ones and replaced them, and we've increased that value, let's get that added to the value so that our loss coverage is consistent with what we have out there, and that it's replacement coverage so that if we do have a loss, we can put back what we had.
Right.
And a lot of agents won't do that very well. They just won't.
Right.
And we had a little trouble in the past, and we're not having any of that trouble tonight.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for that. Eric and I meet on the regular, we got pretty regular communication, but kind of double down on that. Not every year, but almost every year. You may have seen an email. The insurance carrier will send a representative out, not somebody from Huntington, somebody right from the insurance carrier to kind of walk through things, talk to you a little bit, do a little drive through the town. So that he's reached out to me. I gave him your email address. I don't know if you've seen an email from me yet. I like to be here when those walkthroughs happen if I can.
Okay.
Those guys are good at what they do, but they're not overly social, so I try to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, those things are being kept up on. We try to, Brian, to your point, we have an entire department. The bank has dedicated called government banking. All I do is do, again, public municipalities, schools, towns. And the insurance department has a specialty. Across the agency, we have a couple of hundred municipalities to be sure. So I benchmark this stuff, rate-wise, coverage-wise. You're in line, if not ahead of a lot of other towns.
Yeah, I know we've been super fast with the police force. Like I said, I've seen those little numbers, we're kind of like,
Yeah.
That's good
catch.
Good, so.
I do think he did reach out. I think February we have something scheduled, so I'll
Okay.
email you and let you know
Please.
when that is.
I don't want to slow it down just because important is out here, but if I can make it, I'd love to be down here.
Okay. Yeah.
Lindsay,
Yes.
can I address you to ask a question? I think that's
Yeah.
supposed to work. As an appointed member to a council through the town, is there coverage for those individuals? Because I know that if there was the coverage for elected officials, is there anything in there for the appointed members? That the council?
I-
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I thought I seen something about rostered.
Appointed members are afforded the same coverage of elected officials. If you're acting in the official capacity as a town representative in any way, you're going to exceed coverage. That's a good question. Right,
That is a
right.
good question.
Hey, we're in this.
Are you shiesty?
I was listening to everything that he was reviewing with the town council, and he didn't mention, mentioned employees, but didn't mention appointed members.
That is a really good question. I never thought about
Just
that.
wanted to make sure
I
that,
never thought about that either.
What ends up being more important is the cost of defense.
yeah.
And I'll make a real big bold statement that attorneys ought never ever make. You ought never, any one of you is never ever going to have a judgment entered against you personally for any claim that anybody files against the town. It won't happen. They may sue you. They may sue every damn one of it. You're not going to ever have a judgment entered for a dime of that. But what's really important is the cost of defense, because if you are entangled in the litigation, you have to defend yourself. And it's expensive to defend against a claim filed by somebody seeking something that they're not entitled to. But you still got to defend it.
Right.
And the insurance coverage will pay the cost of the defense. And as Joe said, they won't erode the coverage if there were a judgment ever entered. The full coverage is in place, exclusive of the cost of defense, the cost of the lawyers to defend you against the claim. But what you all ought to care about is, if I am ever named in a lawsuit, it won't cost me anything to defend myself. That's covered. The other part about, will there be a judgment entered against me? There won't. And we have coverage for it if there were, but there won't.
No one would ever.
Not in the end, that's for sure.
Yeah. No one would ever run or serve a board if they were.
It was, and no, and that's why we have legislation that protects
Right.
you against that, because it would so disincentivize anybody trying to serve their community if they really were at risk, and you're not.
Right.
But also not at risk for the cost of defending yourself if you ever had to. Those claims that name individuals, early in the litigation, there's a motion to dismiss, and those folks get kicked out. But that costs a little bit too.
At least
Lawyers are expensive. Yeah.
Well, goodness.
I'm afraid bad ones tend to be more expensive, as it turns out.
I've never really worried, but I've always wondered.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Appreciate the board's time.
Yeah, thank you.
When you come out there, if you want to get a hold of me, I'd be happy to answer your other questions. So.
Okay, thank you so much. Oh, go ahead.
More open forum stuff.
Yeah,
Okay,
public forum.
Kevin Hayner's Planning Commission, Kevin started to bring it up when you were talking about.
Yes.
Park stuff. If it pleases the town council, there were 3 planning commission members, terms that ended at the end of 2025. Ben Stein and Ted Funk came on the council and finished out existing terms. They both are interested in staying on the planning commission if the town council so chooses to reappoint them.
What was their name again? I'm sorry.
Ben Stein and Ted Funk. council so chooses to reappoint them to the planning commission. And then my term also ended at December, if you so choose to put Kevin Adams back on the planning commission for a 4-year.
This is the same thing where we just appoint them and then they choose who's.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to,
But the only thing is, we're supposed to, the requirement is that no more than 2 of the citizen members can be of the same political party. That is what the statute requires.
And when we brought Ted and Ben on, when we filled the vacancies, we ensured that all of our political parties aligned with the vacancies. So we still should be
Okay.
in alignment with the
okay. So am I okay then? Okay.
Does that include like one being independent or Democrat, just as long as you have one?
The way it's worded is no more than 2 of the same party.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay. So I make a motion to appoint Ben Stein, Ted Funk, and Kevin Aders to the planning commission.
Second.
All right. Votes.
Yes.
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 Now let's do the BZA too, whatever that, yep.
Have you got both names?
No, because my email is not working for my Yahoo email. Is not working.
Oh,
I have
okay.
to email it if you check. So in relation to the BZA, currently it's Jeremy Nelson and myself, and what is Scott's name? The third one is still.
This,
I'll let you dig for it. We had 2 that stepped down last year, so we only have 3 active members on BZA.
Okay.
So we have 2 vacancies.
Okay.
Charlie put out.
Greg Nelson, he called me and said he
Charlie
would.
put out looking for information. Erica also posted. Greg Nelson has responded and has shown interest. He had served on BZA previously, so he has knowledge.
Right.
And then Erica had someone reach out to her that she passed on to me that I didn't get because my email's not, my personal email's not working right now. So.
Do you remember who it was?
Try to track that down. I'll have to try to track that down and have her send it to my work email tomorrow. To get that.
I don't have Scott's last name.
It's not.
Should we just go ahead and appoint the one?
Well, but it's a little trickier than that. So you got 5 members.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them have to be members of the planning commission.
That's
Okay.
Jeremy.
Okay.
One of the planning commission members is appointed by the planning commission.
Mike Saltzgaber.
The other member of the planning commission appointed to the BZA is appointed by the council.
Okay. Say it again. Say it again. I'm so
The planning
confused.
commission appoints to the BZA one of its members.
Which is just one?
Mhm.
Okay.
Which was
But
Jeremy.
Which is Jeremy.
But those are still a 4-year term, correct, Lee?
Yeah.
Those are still 4-year terms.
The
Right.
4-year
And
terms.
so, at the beginning of last year, I believe the council appointed Jeremy, and then the planning commission appointed me.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're both the 2 that, from the planning commission.
So that's satisfied.
So that part is satisfied.
Okay.
Then
So-
we have 3 public appointees.
Okay.
And we only have 1 of those currently filled because we had 2 others that stepped down.
Okay. Then you have 3 citizen members.
And we have 2 vacant citizens.
Well, yeah, right. And those are appointed by,
The council?
yeah.
How do you spell that Mike's guy's last name?
Saltz, just like SALTS, and then Gaber, GAVER.
Okay. So then I make a motion to appoint Greg Nelson and Mike Saltzgaber to the BZA.
Second,
Votes.
Yes.
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 Does that get you to 5?
That gets us our 5.
Woo!
If you will reach out to Greg
Yay!
and Mike.
And everyone's a resident of the town?
Yes.
Greg Nelson. Yeah.
One of them lives in the bathroom down at the Ball Diamonds. But
Well,
he's a resident.
Wait, there was a homeless person in the bathroom down there at one point.
That's true 2 years ago.
No, it's been a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Public forum, are we
Actually, 2 of them.
good? All right, perfect. Okay, so I will make a motion to approve December 15th, 2025 regular meeting minutes, December 29th, 2025 executive session and special meeting minutes.
Okay,
Votes.
Yes.
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 All right. Gray's not here, unfortunately.
Hold on a
So,
minute. Concerning police department.
oh, okay.
Project is moving along well. Drywall is going to be delivered tomorrow. Then they're going to start installing that as soon as possible. I think believe Greg's gotten all of his IT guy in there. We did have to do some, I think he had some extra stuff on the electrical he wanted done, for outside lighting. That was under his limit. He signed off on that, on a change order. That was $425, just so everybody's aware. We did run into some other little issues, one of them being the ductwork. We had to restring the ductwork in the room to spread it back out. That was $430. We need to get that approved tonight if possible.
Well, it still falls underneath this, that $407.
That's the one he didn't sign off on, though.
Yeah, but you'll have to sign it, yeah.
That's gonna have to be approved through Erica. The other one is his security guy. He did sign off on that one. That was $448, rerun his security camera wires. And then I've also got a bill here for GP Construction for work done to date as a draw. Looks like the total amount here is $11,000 at this point.
What's the 8,000 bottom?
Are we at the level of draw? As percentage done?
So all the rough in is done, yes. All the framing and rough in's done. So he's just drawing on basically anything that he's reframed at this point or purchased at this point, like the flooring, which is in there, and the extra work that's been done, which one of them was grinding the floor down to level out where the two buildings met for the flooring. So,
So we go ahead and get those approved?
So yeah, to answer your question, the 8,000 that he had on here was the 3,500 and 4,500. I did go over that with him. And then the total between the grinding the floor and the flooring that he's got in there, stocked already, ready to go, brings that up to a total of 11,000.
11,000 even?
Yes.
Motion to approve 11,000 draw for, who was it?
GP Construction.
Could motion to, because I was given all of these invoices like this week, late last week. If we could go ahead and get all of these paid
You gonna do it again? I guess you.
I think she's saying to include, like,
Just
this.
do it all.
Yeah,
you have, we do all at once, because these,
There you go.
all
It's
the
right
work have
there.
been completed on this invoice.
It's this one, and then that one. Yeah, it's the first two that you have. Or no.
So where are you coming up with 11,000, I see 8,000. Oh, right there, 11,000, okay. Get the bottom. Okay, motion to approve 11,000 draw for GP Construction. Dave's Electric for 425. Maya's Home Security Automation 448. And CNS Heating and Cooling for 430.
Second. Votes?
Yes.
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 That's a total of $12,303. If anybody's wanting to know.
You said 12,000 what?
$303. That's all I got.
Right.
Looking to get it done by the end of the month. What's the way?
Yeah.
Good.
It is looking awesome.
That was so I could go ahead and pay these claims and have next month,
Correct.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Scott.
Scott, before you get going about that.
Oh my gosh, Charlie.
You're starting to get back up there a little bit.
Climb back up one.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be a lot happier when we get the age.
Yeah. You're getting
That's
there.
up to 78 this point.
Yeah.
Up to 78. We're having a lot of trouble with that old reservoir
Oh,
right now, and that's a little bit of it. It's kind of one of those things, there's no sense in spending any money
right.
at this point. We're just trying to, we're having trouble with it. Random electronic things where it's, just frees up like looks like we're full and we're not, or vice versa at times, but.
Flip on your mic over there. You're
Oh,
live.
mine's about to.
I'm not showing any battery life. I mean, that thing's. Okay, just buzz through here real quick. Trying to just take advantage of the weather for one. Doing a lot of update. We're hitting a lot of our, like we said, our wellhead protection plan that has to be done every 5 years, the emergency management plan. Jason and Lori started on our water loss audit. Kind of going back to some of the stuff we talked to earlier, like there's 2 or 3 things on this list that we weren't even doing 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's like this water loss audit, that's a yearly thing now, but it's quite time consuming. And, but again, that's one of those things, and that DMR QA testing on the wastewater, same thing, that's now an annual thing that we have to do, that we didn't used to have to do. Anyway, trying to catch up on some things like that, guys doing a little extra yearly maintenance on equipment. Been working with Christy Gerald multiple times a day, trying to keep up the information she needs. Kevin is getting everything scheduled for yearly calibrations on all the master meters, which include the wholesale customers also, which they pay for. We just arrange it. We can arrange it, and we all save money if we get them everything calibrated at the same time. So we just work with Cordery and Trafalgar and all that, to get that done. Excuse me. This year, we're coming up on our 5-year period as far as getting this tower inspected and tower number 4 inspected. Believe it or not, that's actually been up long enough. We gotta get it inspected already.
One on 252?
Yeah,
It's been,
it's going on, but it was 4 years, so we'll have just 2026.
having fun.
I know, so 2026 will be the 5th year, so we're getting it scheduled. And, this one definitely needs cleaned, and we'll have to do some probably minor touch-ups, so to speak, on this tower here. Obviously, I don't expect anything on 252 tower.
Just when you think you make bank with utility, pay it all back up.
And start sending it back up. The reservoir project, I think I showed a couple of you guys have seen some pictures, but the footer's all in, the poured. The weather's caught them on this, because they're ready to pour the main concrete slab. Just waiting on weather. And then the reservoir itself is physically on site now. Every bit of the upper part that goes above ground is sitting on about 4 semi-loads there at the shop, so. Started, Eric has talked quite a bit about the software updates, and some of that is coming, and we started last week with I guess it'd be our first kind of Zoom conference with them as far as getting things going and what they need, everything like that. I already mentioned the DMR QA, but that's the big quality control measure we have to do every year. Remington's got that, has ordered our samples for that to get that going. feel like that's kind of the highlights. You guys have any questions? I guess I'm not asking you money this month. That's kind of rare.
It's early in the year.
Yeah, yeah. Start the year off right. Oh, I will. Excuse me.
Is that DMRQ
DMRQA.
QA?
Anybody have any questions? Nope. All right. Thank you so much, Scott. Tony?
See, we've ordered some sand to get our stockpile back up. Turn on the weight limit signs, flashing lights. We've taken one of our trucks into the Z-Bark annual rust inspection preventative. The other two are scheduled for February. Took down some Christmas decorations, mixed some salt and sand. Started assembling some new street signs. There's a berm on the northeast lake dam. Cleared it because water likes to pool there. So hopefully that helps that out. And we've got a raccoon problem in the shop. It seems like it's been like a 10-year problem.
Oh my God.
That's every winter during plow season. There's a big hole in the back of the salt barn.
Oh no.
Are
they little babies or is it like a?
There's like an attic part above half the shop.
Yeah.
And we can hear them up there screaming and.
There was an apartment
Raccoon
complex
shit
in
all over the
Frank.
place.
Yes, there's an apartment complex in Franklin that they have a raccoon problem that they've not dealt with for years, and I think they're about to get sued over it. And it's supposed to be like raccoons are supposed to be like their poop is.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
Had a hamster problem one time down in Florida.
Hamster?
We had moved from Tennessee back to Florida. We were my mom was selling us her house. And in the meantime, we were living in this apartment complex. I was pregnant, about 7 months pregnant, which didn't help matters.
Right.
And I kept hearing this scratching in the wall.
Oh.
Just constantly. I couldn't. So I finally walked down to the where the property manager lived. Of course, she's looking at me. Yeah, freaking pregnant lady. But he came back up and he heard it. He had to break through the wall. Somebody from upstairs, hamster got out, got into the wall, and dropped down into my apartment.
Gosh, that's crazy. Lord.
Poor little thing.
Yeah.
I'm just glad he got was able to break through the wall, so I didn't have to do it because he was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
So you're asking to get a live trap?
I've got went to Rural King, spent $20,
Okay.
but we gotta fix that hole first.
Sure.
That's
I hear raccoons like eggs.
The way that was constructed, somebody's got into the bottom of the framework
with a skid
with the
steer.
skid steer and snapped 2 posts off. So we got to bring the post back in. I told him go get some 1/4 to 3/8 inch angle iron, put a bolt in the concrete, bolt the post back up, and then we're gonna have to redo some of the tongue and groove on it to get back up to snuff.
There was probably 30 tons of salt in that corner that I just seen the hole from the outside of the shop where the salt's got in there, I guess, and rusted it out.
There was a deer going into it as well and licking the salt out of the back of the barn.
Oh no.
Really?
Is it treated though? Is that gonna kill him?
We've got some spare metal laying back there to patch the hole with.
It's still running through my yard. They look nice and fat.
Ruby's pregnant, so if they do their business on your salt, you
So they get up in the eaves and, I mean, there's raccoon
Ugh.
poop
So do you
all.
need to call like a pest control person
I
to come
think-
get them?
I think we can, my plan is to close up that hole and set a live trap, put some food in it because they gotta eat if they can't get out, and
Eggs or tuna?
As
long as there's no babies up there.
If there's little babies, I want one.
I don't like doing it.
When you catch one, take it to Attleboro and release it.
There's probably a whole gang of them up there.
You can hear them up there, like,
There's probably
especially in the
tons of
morning.
them.
I don't know about that, that'd be a lot.
If there's babies, I want one.
They come back.
Usually, you hear them usually behind the water heater in the restroom.
Somewhere, yeah.
That's where I always hear them go in there.
Yep. Or it seems like they crawl down into the walls too, I don't know.
You hear those under the kitchen sink?
So you need permission, for payment for salt?
Oh, yeah.
It's pre-ordered, you said.
Yep, 100 tons was
Do we lock in
pre-ordered.
that price on the salt speaker?
What's that?
Do we lock in that price on the salt speaker?
That is cheap. That's bid price.
I'm not
I
sure.
didn't know, certain times of the year, like right now, salt's being used. and
Yeah, I get the bid
Price
on
goes
it.
up, I didn't know if we lock in a price.
That was the NDOT bid price.
Okay.
How about, I got a email, it's not NDOT anymore, it's Indiana Department of
I feel like they keep changing it.
It's on my screen, I think, right?
something,
It's on.
it's not NDOT anymore, that I got to pre-order the salt, but, see, that's the 80 tons, is the 8,797.60 cents, but the loads come in 20 to 25 tons a load, so I don't know how, if I worded this right, or,
Trucking fee on top of
yeah,
that?
that's included, the
Okay.
109.97 tons.
So, motion to pay for 82 pub.
Cargill, yeah,
Not all at once.
yeah,
It'll be in just shipment.
So we'll go separate.
Yeah. I mean, you can do the total amount if you want to, but it'll be,
I guess,
We'll get it, so,
Yeah.
motion to pay up to 87.97.60 for salt.
Second.
Votes?
Yes.
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 Slow down, Charlie.
and I have one more question. The flashing red lights at stop signs in Nineveh and Lakeview, are those there? Supposed to be there, have to be there, or
Those would be us, wouldn't they?
Those are county.
even the stop sign that's on Lakeview?
Yeah.
The stop sign on Lakeview is ours.
Because I was wanting to take this Lakeview Nineveh road sign and put it lower on top of that stop sign.
I don't think you can do that.
No,
It's supposed to be 7 feet high.
at least, or, okay.
I don't know how high it is now, but
It's probably about 10 feet.
it could come down some.
Well, then the stop sign will be blocking it.
Sign heights are 7 feet, not.
Yeah. But what if the stop sign's 7 foot? Or I didn't know if I could,
Separate sign.
if I,
Saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it.
Okay.
I'd just leave it. It's not eating anything. Just something else to trim around.
All right, anything else? Any questions?
I have a question. I don't know if it has to do with the roads department or not. This new house they built down here a year or two ago, right next to the clubhouse area. I was told by somebody that they wanted to build on that plot next to it, which sits above it. And I heard it was turned down by the council, that they were not allowed to build on that.
Could be the council.
That'd be the planning commission,
Be the BZA.
or the BZA, yeah, I'm sorry,
Okay,
my bad.
do you know anything about it?
Continue with your question.
Well, the question is I noticed that it's being cleared and they've got these big,
rip rap.
They're just landscaping.
So,
is that all it is?
yeah, so the BZA turned down the request to build a house on it. So the person that owned it sold it to the people that bought the big house. Because it was somebody else owned it. Not the people that owned the people that owned the new house owned that lot, somebody else owned that. The BZA turned down the individual that wanted to build on that
What are
lot.
they gonna do with the brick road?
They're landscaping the hillside. Because now the people that own the house do own that. The individual sold the homeowner the lot since they couldn't build it. So now they're landscaping the hillside between their house and the clubhouse. If you notice, they've taken a lot of trees out. And then they own the hillside above the lot. They're gonna put all that riprap on those two hillsides. They needed to get all that riprap hauled in before Tony put up the weight limit signs for the winter on dump trucks. So they had it all hauled in onto the lot, and they just were staging it there.
See, my issue has always been, when they were building that house, originally, we had that big heavy rain. I don't know who was the one that went out with the bobcat that cleared the road, because it was all coming down.
It was it was the guy that was constructing the house when we were trying to prove it up.
I mean, it all comes, all that's, anything that comes down the hill, goes into my driveway. And I talked to everybody about it, and nothing, I can't get anything done.
So I'm guessing this riprap, I'm guessing probably might help that situation for the runoff.
Maybe, yeah,
Which property are you?
either one.
Which property are you?
Oh,
Which house?
it's right next to Eddie's,
Across the road?
no, right next to Eddie's.
Yeah, but that's across the street from this house.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But it comes down the hill, cuts across, and then right down into my drive. I can show you, well, he's
So-
finally shown me.
You're saying everything that washed off the road came into your
Everything washed
driveway?
off the road comes into my driveway.
Gotcha.
When it first happened, I wasn't able to do anything about it at the time because my son's pickup truck was parked there and it was broke down. He couldn't move it, so I wasn't, and it was all underneath his truck, so I couldn't clean any of it out or do anything with it at the time or show anybody. But anything that washes down the road comes straight into my driveway.
Well, that riprap should cut down
Yeah.
about 90% of that, but living at the bottom of the hill, you're gonna get
Right,
stuff.
I understand that, but I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that that this doesn't happen again with all that gravel and.
Right.
I know the day they hauled all that rock in and it did rain, they brought a lot of mud out of the lot onto the road. I didn't know it was all over the finger.
So I remember that day when we got that rain and I mean, whoever was running that bobcat, he was up and down that.
But as far as now, I mean, their plan is they're landscaping both those hillsides. They have a drainage tile on the driveway and they're
That should have a lot of washing down.
Yeah. Okay, we gotta move on. It's 8:12.
Yeah.
Okay, clerk treasurer. I'm asking for approval for general claims in the amount of $231,712.40. Utilities, $217,505.43. January 2nd allowance docket, $45,384.94. January 15th, $42,105.42. And HWC invoice number 15 for $14,279.80.
Motion to approve Erica's claims and allowance docket the way in HWC.
Second. Votes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 I don't have anything else, for approval. Town cleanup, last year we did it early, I think we did it in May. I think that turned out really well. I think everyone appreciated being earlier in the year, so that way it's not blazing hot outside. So probably next month we'll need to figure out a date to do that as well. And then, Easter is coming up at us quickly too. That's April 4th. So probably the weekend before that we do. I'm sorry, April 5th is Easter. So it's probably the weekend before that we'll do the egg hunt. But I don't have anything else. W-2s were sent out. 1099 NECs were done. So that's all I have.
I got two questions. One, how much are we using out of, how much are we getting for pilot this year?
I don't know 100%. I don't know if you guys have seen what Steve Brock sent, but I can send it out.
He was
It's like
supposed to
around
go- Last year, he was
148.
supposed to go ask that in a meeting to evaluate that, and see if they need adjusted.
Yes, and he did. And I think it's like 148-ish.
It's over 100, so.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know the exact amounts because when he did it, because it had not been changed since 1994. And then when I took office, I noticed this, like, what is this? Figured out what it was, asked him to reevaluate it. He did. And then it raised it to like 48,000, I think, something like that.
You said more, 48,000?
248.
What was it for?
10,000. Like I said, that had stayed the same since 1994. And then when we were doing all the rate studies, asked to look at it again, and it came up significantly higher. And when Scott questioned it, Steve said that where it is now, the 100 and some thousand is really truly where it should be, that he kind of underevaluated it when he raised it. So I don't have that exact number. I asked somebody else to double check those numbers, so I'm waiting to hear back from that. Is that kind of the gist of it?
So, very much so, like, so the 47,000 was above our 8,000.
Something like that.
Just under 50 was supposedly the max that we could pay. Well, then the next year he does the rate study and he's saying, now you can pay 100 something as your max. And I'm like,
See,
my question was, things didn't change that much. So we can't, so.
Ben, I don't spend, you can spend a lot more money. You can spend more money building a building,
Yeah,
build a tower.
yeah. I don't, his only answer, like Erica said, when we questioned that, he was kind of like, well, I must have made a mistake last.
So, while we're on that subject,
So,
I
yeah,
think we can hit on it, who is our consultant from now on. Chris Gerald had a recommendation for us. Do we want to go that route? I believe I do.
I'm somewhat familiar, I'm familiar, I know some of the people that work in that company, and I'm blank right now.
We had a lot of mistakes last year.
Yeah, and then we also.
Did you go for a couple of meetings?
John,
Jim Higgins.
Jim, yeah, we kind of been, we crossed that around also, like his company.
Who did Christie say? Do you remember the person name she gave?
God, I should, I see him at conferences.
He's a Baker Tilly.
Yes, Baker Tilly.
He's making a lot of it. Baker Tilly is gonna be really expensive.
Well, she says it's gonna cost us more, but I guess.
So LW,
Steve has lost some of his customers for the same reasons that we had problems with last year.
so there are a lot of them out there. LWG is who's headed with. They used to be the London Witty Group, but now it's an acronym, LWG. I have a range for a fellow named Bob Reynolds at LWG to start doing the rate work at Morgan County, New Island, where Steve used to do work. My experience with LWG and this Bob Reynolds has been really good so far. The work products have been good. They have been reasonable, I think, in what they have charged fees. Baker Tilly is a national accounting firm.
So,
National.
so my question for you, it wasn't just a problem with his numbers? It was a problem with him following through the information, he would forget, and.
Their experience with Steve over the last several years is very similar to Princess Lex.
So our tentativeness of deadline, especially, we need some as for he was not meeting the mark for us.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, that has been true there too.
so we need somebody reliable.
So, and it's not, it's not for me, certainly not for me to decide, and I'm not really trying to endorse anybody, but I feel real confident saying Baker Tilly, I think is overkill and would be really expensive. LWG, London Witty's been in this market for decades and decades. Jim Higgins has been doing this forever. I think that their stable of municipal advisors is good, they're well regarded, and I think you would find that they would provide a level of service comparable to anybody else and probably be more affordable.
Are they kind of on the smaller side?
Well, Wells and the Baker Tilly.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah, but no, they're, I mean, and they're at all the conferences too. I mean, they're a recognized, I mean, London Witty's been around forever, and they're the go-to for a lot of utilities. And if you wanted it like we do with other places, you know, have proposals or have several different ones come in, do that. Reedy is another one. I think Chrome's still out there.
We don't think, it's not. I don't know if you guys knew some of the problems with that, but they were.
I think it's time to make a change.
They had about, filled off with,
LWG.
I
And
forgot
that's,
about it.
Mayor Jim's company.
It is.
Yeah, I think that'd benefit us.
Jim Carter.
I don't know. I would assume,
Just curious.
given
Seems to
that
have-
he's mature. Yeah, I guess he's certainly a partner and
That's kind of like,
with senior status. Yeah, I would guess so.
I personally like the idea that he lives in our system.
Yes.
I gotta tell you, I do too.
He lives in our system?
Yeah, he lives on
Okay,
Berkeley.
that's, I think that's a plus.
Mailbox.
I mean, those rates, I
That,
don't know if that ends like
on rates and stuff, he's like,
Yes.
I will help handle it, you know, he's like, you're obviously, I'm not gonna be dealing straight with Jim.
Was that the guy that showed up at Overness and Advice?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they're all were pretty.
That's right. He's LWG.
Yes, yes.
Do we need to make a motion to change that?
Conferences, like every conference, and he teaches and he sponsors certain nights of the conferences, and he's talked a lot about fraud in different places. I think I've told everybody, well, I mean, newer people about all of these forces.
Yeah.
Have you watched that movie, Lee? It's about the clerk treasurer from Dixon, Illinois, who stole $50 million. And so it's extremely ethical.
All the Queen's horses.
No,
He spent all the money on horses.
no. Oh, I have heard of that
That's the
story.
way we start
Yeah.
to see
But I haven't seen the movie.
So,
So anyway, he's,
if you're gonna feel money, don't buy it.
He's looking at nine horses,
Yeah.
our swing of
Yeah.
lights.
yeah, he's
And I think that was one of the shortfall nights we had with Steve, also, I think it was.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, Steve was here that night. He was
Yes.
here. Yeah.
I think it might have been the time I called him out on his numbers being
Yeah.
Steve.
Yes.
Yes.
That was it.
We need to make a motion.
Well, I guess, what, is there, is there a task that you need for someone to perform? I mean, I think, I don't know that you need to make a motion to just sort of decide.
I mean, I don't
We're gonna- But you need to have some need that you want this.
Yes,
some
let's
person to do.
reevaluate our pilot program.
Okay. And another idea,
For us to do an 18% rate increase,
Yeah,
and then turn around and double what we're giving,
Yeah, just warning you, it's gonna come with a cost to us.
I understand.
Yeah, I don't think so, because I've already talked to him about it, and he said, send it to me and I'll look at it.
Another
So I've
idea.
already sent it to him to look
If
over.
if you think you're predisposed or in any way inclined to have Jim Higgins do work for the town, my suggestion would be, Jim, come to our next meeting and you all come up with a list of things that you think you might want a consultant to address and have a conversation with them. Say, we're interested in the pilot, we're, you know, what, and just I just talk with him about it, and at the end of that conversation, if you say, okay, well, I'm making a motion to go ahead and engage Jim Higgins of LWG to do a pilot assessment for us, then make a motion, then take action then that has a scope of work to it. And you might even ask him to give you an engagement letter. I mean, what I get from these municipal advisors other places are engagement letters that say, here's what I'm going to do for you, here's what the fee's going to be, here's when I'm going to deliver it. That's how it works. lots and lots of places, most all the time.
I was impressed with his personal engagement in the community and wanted to give us secondhand advice because,
I mean, make about 10, 15 minutes available for him at your next meeting and just let's have this conversation with him in the room.
He seemed like he was on top of the State House.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just like that. I mean, just like what I was saying earlier, payment with the taxes. So if we're a private company, it's the payment we make, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm saying how it can't go, I know what our income, or I know what our numbers are, and we can't have possibly.
Well, it was done back, I'm looking at one of the studies Steve did on that. I mean, what it's supposed to do, you're supposed to come up with, you're supposed to assign a value to the property, convert that to what assessed value would be. And if the property that the utilities own was subject to, was assessed and subject to tax, you want this consultant to assign that assessed value to it. And then it's then it's the tax rate times the assessed value. Any of us dummies can do that.
But if it wasn't owned by the town, the federal government would have it and it would have no tax value to us at all.
Well, but that's why you have to do this artificial calculation.
Is it based on assessed value or on sales?
Well, you try to get to assessed value because you're trying to treat it the same way you would if it were subject to tax.
well, your sales are part of that assessed value.
Well, that's the way to value
In any business.
Right. You can do a sales approach, you can do an income approach, you can do a marketability approach or a compare. But that is the way they get at that.
Okay.
So, and it's something that Jim, I mean, he's done it more times than he can remember.
Just like
in his
I
career.
just sent him.
Just as Anthony is an example, he wants to sell his business, he ain't just gonna sell his trucks and shed and all that. There's an assessed value to his income if somebody were to buy his business. So-
But in this case, you wouldn't use an income approach to value the asset or the property as improved for real estate tax purposes. On selling the business, you're almost always going to use an income
No, I
approach.
think what he was asking though, the income or revenue that we get from sales of water, is that part of it? That was.
I really don't think it would be for purposes of the pilot.
I could do.
Because that would be valuing the business, the enterprise. You're trying to value the utility. You would look at the income that it generates, and you would assign a value to it based on an income approach. If you're looking at real estate tax on the value of the real estate and improvements, that would be more an asset valuation rather than an income valuation. But they do that, and there shouldn't be a crazy range discrepancy from year to year.
Well, that was my.
I mean, there shouldn't.
That didn't make sense. And by the way, well, just for the record, as far as this, with this solar energy and stuff, I'm not pushing or against it. I don't want you guys to think that I'm for or against it. Tonight was different numbers I've seen.
I'm not impressed with what I've seen.
To my mind, there are a lot of holes that need to be filled in.
Yeah.
And it's getting late. We've already covered that. But my thought listening to that presentation was, you need a financial advisor, a rate consultant, whoever that turns out to be involved in this right now.
Yeah, that's what I told you.
Because they're giving you the project cost to build the thing, but they're not giving you any of the financing costs that you're going to have
A lot of blanks.
to borrow the money to build it. And that's a lot of additional expense. And when you say, well, what are we going to have to do, increase our rates to be able to finance the debt to do this, somebody can really roughly tell you that early on in this process. And you want to know that before you go much deeper into this. And it may be enough to turn you back around.
I just wanted I felt like maybe you guys was thinking I was pushing this.
Being in an electric business, I was totally against it. I had took them off my front. And, our EMCs have done their studies, and just, for the common person, the years it takes to pay yourself back, is it really worth the investment? Are you going to be in that house 30 years? You know, are you gonna regain an investment in if you expand?
Yeah, what's useful life, and when you have a big capital.
Well, that's what I was trying to get out of it, like, okay, well, this is over, do we have anything?
And exactly what we're done unless we
Right.
start another.
My big thing, what if you have a bad summer and you don't get no sun for a month?
Well,
What's that gonna do with your,
it's collecting that energy, whether it's,
I mean,
it affects it.
there's a lot that needs to happen. We need to talk to some
Yeah.
customers.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to bring up a whole nother subject.
I think whoever your rate consultant is, your advisor is, needs to be involved in this conversation real early on.
This is gonna cost us money in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost rates. The benefit is long-term.
Yes.
He said minimum 13 years. So our future generation might benefit from it.
That's right.
We're gonna, but we're gonna get hit up front now.
That's the
but
idea.
I look at it this way also. Will that rate and will the cost to the customer go back down once we reach that?
Never go
Rates
down.
never go
Right.
down.
That's probably go for
So the customer will get hammered the whole time.
No rate consultant planet will ever tell you.
Never going down.
Never.
I had one other question. Do we have money in Indiana Trust now?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yes, we have some money in there. I got it started, but I'm gonna move more. But
Is
yes,
that why
there's money in
Christie,
there.
because Christie mentioned one conversation about 100,000 in each one,
Mhm.
so you moved
Yeah, so
that.
I opened it up with that.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, that don't make sense, but if it was more of an you're saying it's
Just
kind of
to
an
get it-
introductory.
Yeah,
type.
just to do it, because I didn't want to send over $3 million. I didn't really know what I was doing, so I did a smaller
Sure.
amount just to move it, just to see how the
But
process
you've gone
works.
through and we've actually got some in
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, it's all set up.
What's the interest rate we getting on that?
I don't know. I
I
don't
think
know.
it's 4.25 now. It was 4.5.
Man, it was,
Not this time.
for the utility, it was a large sum of money back to us every year.
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably, we're way over $1 million if we did this earlier.
Is that quarterly or semi-annually or?
Probably monthly. I imagine.
That was one of the questions I had, was when that would show, when we would see that, if it was like a quarterly or a monthly or quarterly.
I'm guessing they
I would imagine it's monthly, like all banks are monthly.
Like a
That's only
monthly
what I'm,
statement.
yeah.
Well, I don't know how that works either because we could draw on it anytime we want. So that value is gonna change all the time. So I think the interest is gonna be calculated almost daily somehow.
Right, but you don't get it until the end of the
Right.
month.
Yeah, but it'll probably show up kind of like you said, like interest on.
Right, it'll just be like a
That's just when it's
month.
reported. It's earning interest.
Yeah, it's the interest daily.
Right.
You just can't get you're not gonna get a statement every 10 minutes.
Okay. Lee, you got anything for us?
We 209 West Lakeview got tidied up.
Yeah.
Phil and I kind of clamped down a bit, and I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, I mean, I've been working with Chris too to get on these easements and right-of-way acquisitions and certifications and some of this over getting it closed. I don't know something else, but I don't remember it. It's getting late.
Okay. Any old business?
Yeah. Somebody sent us out a email telling us to dress pretty because they want to take pictures.
I missed that one.
Was it? I thought we were rescheduling that.
Is that your?
Be the 12th.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the 12th and nobody showed up. So here's the thing. I can and will do them, but I can't do it like this. We gotta have the window open and it's gotta be during the day.
Oh,
Because
pictures.
yeah, pictures.
For what?
Like a professional headshot.
Just put it on the website.
Yeah, to put it on the website, or if you're gonna
Take
rerun.
your Facebook photo and send it out.
Any more old business? Okay, new business.
Yes. Beach to it.
Go ahead.
And anyway, I just wanted to get her.
Electric scooters, electric bikes, kids, helmets, restrictions in town. I've been asked by the police department to mention it, and I think it is important because we've got kids, young kids, on
Yes.
electric scooters.
Like
Yeah.
Going
forward. years old.
20, 25 miles an hour down the road on their scooters with no helmets.
Yeah, I don't think it was bad.
Huh?
I don't think that must be bad.
I mean, I don't want.
There's no sidewalk.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think bucket door, I'm not gonna-
no, I've had to yell at kids that were in Dyson, the intersection of Dyson and Lakeview, and they're just riding around. There's a car. I'm like, get out of the road.
I don't know the answer to that, other than the police department is probably, should just pull these kids over and say, hey, look.
Yeah.
But we need to probably set something up so they've got something to go by.
Yeah.
To enforce it.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of helmets. We could have the police officers just throw them in their car and be like, put this on.
Well, but we
For free.
probably need to make a requirement of some sort.
Does Indiana have a motorcycle helmet law?
I don't think
they do.
I don't think they do anymore.
Motorcycles.
Any side-by-side, ATV, anything like that, you have to be, I believe 18 or younger has to have a helmet on.
Yeah, it might be an age thing.
And we don't have that either. And kids riding around in side-by-sides golf carts.
Yeah.
If I were to have an accident on my property with one of my kids and they don't have a helmet on, DNR's gonna write me a ticket, take me to jail possibly for child endangerment.
But you get 3 squares.
Charlie, I don't know how we lived to be too old.
Yeah.
That stuff we did when we were kids.
Yeah.
I was working on helmets, but you know, my kids, I made them wear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it.
We didn't know, like not a bike, but.
Well, it's not so much for a bicycle as much as it is for the electric
Yes.
bikes that can go 30, 35, 40 miles an hour.
But I mean, there's kids that live in Nineveh that have like
No, they're flying.
really. I mean, they like broke bones.
I don't see why we couldn't make an ordinance.
That was my motorcycle, I used to have
I think you can have a local ordinance. I don't know that there's any state regulation, so I think the only way you can do anything is if you do a local ordinance. I'll study on that a little.
Didn't bother me a bit.
Think about it.
Yes. Yeah. Carly, what do you want to say?
Oh, no, I just messed with it.
Oh, okay. I do kind of have new business. There was an email that was sent out earlier today about an employee. I think that it does need to be addressed in an executive session. I prefer not to do it in a public setting. I think we've done that for everybody, and I think that we owe this same said person the same decency. But I do think that there needs to be a conversation that's had about wow. So.
Yeah, you were, can I talk about, you were powerless in the victor, but he refused to give a bid?
He just said, basically, I got paid twice, I got paid over, I overpaid, don't tell me.
Okay, but we didn't catch either.
Correct.
Okay, so shame on us.
Hang on just a second. If you all are going to have an executive session and it's a consensus that you want to discuss this in executive session, we all not start discussing it now. If you all decide instead that you want to discuss now, then you can go ahead and do that. But
I just think
if you're
personally,
going to draw a line,
should be executive.
Yes, I agree.
Because whatever you say on this, people are gonna pick
Yes.
up what you're talking about, who you're talking about, etc.
Yes,
So,
I agree. So, with that being said, is anybody available on Friday to meet?
Yes, yes.
No, I'm gonna be gone. I'm going to Chicago, I can't help it.
Anthony?
I'm available.
Okay, well, yeah. So, what time? I mean, I'm available.
anytime afternoon,
After,
after 12, yeah.
okay. So, 1:30?
I don't have anything scheduled.
Well, yeah, make sure.
Yeah, that's the boss.
I can do that.
Okay, so let's do it for 1 o'clock. On Friday, executive session.
Is Dingleberry gonna be there? Not you, Nate, the other one.
what time?
1, are you available? I would love to have you here.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right, does anybody else have anything?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. All right, 8:39. Adjourn.
Lunch.